form. In super crazy form.
This for Shiro is the launch pad for him becoming an absolute titan of the game.
Yeah.
Right? If Cloud9 make it to the final, if Cloud9 win and Shiro gets like MVP or something fucking mental, which is in the realms of possibility here, that is the kickstart into the big boy leagues for Shiro, right? And it's not that they haven't been here. We've discussed this team of being consistent and strong and everything about that, but that's where Shiro changes from this kid that gets spoken about and he's pretty good and has some clutches to Shiro, one of the absolute best in the world.
Yeah.
Add some fun to your space with Xtrfy, designed in Sweden with focus on quality products built on experience. You're looking at Project 4, their 4th generation of products with super cool colorways to stand out, with matching sets to satisfy with a solid B4 bungee, lightweight ergonomic M4 mouse, the K4 keyboard is fantastic, all of which are performance focused, and finish it off with colorful GP4 mouse mats that are bold in design and smooth on the surface. The retro theme in particular has got the feels. Complete your setup with Xtrfy. No regrets, guaranteed.
Finally, I found what I was looking for. Now that my search is over, it's gonna be a tough choice. But fortunately, no need to choose. When you can just have them all. Buy and sell skins on bitskins.com.
Bet, your game.
Yo, 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 what up? It's your boy Kjaerbye coming at you, lounging and direct from the Rio Major here. Direct, erect, that's why the laptop's on my lap. It don't matter. We all got them, and sometimes they play up. But this way, you can't see it. No, I do not have an erection right now, everybody, and I didn't think that's how it would be said.
We were actually just talking, me and Striker, before the show.
About erections.
Yeah, he said that it's great to not have a huge dick, because then if you get an erection, people can't see it.
Cool. That's a good start. The good way to start the show.
Well, welcome to Rio, everybody. I need to thank the sponsors, but we do have Hooch here who will be joining us today alongside of, I don't know the dick sizes of these two, but Prof and Striker.
Mediocre.
No, okay, look, we all know it's about how you use it. It's like save guns in Counter-Strike, right?
Yeah.
You know, as long as you can get something out of it, it makes sense.
But it's also, if it's the longer the gun, it's kind of more dangerous.
Yeah, fair enough. We can. Yeah, it all works, right? It all works. Well, we hope it works. Maybe as we're getting older, they're not working, and that's a problem that the kids listening at home will have to overcome one day. But we need to thank the sponsors: Xtrfy, Bitskins, and M1 Bet. Remember to gamble responsibly, and thank you for continuously supporting the show and making it possible for us to be in places like this. It's pretty chill in this room. What type of room would you call this, Prof? It's not a conference room.
It's kind of a meeting conference room.
A meeting room.
Yeah, meeting room.
Big business would be done in here.
I don't know what kind of business would be done in this. There's another room right here next to it, which is like glass. There, I feel like you do big business. Here, I don't know what I would never rent this room, honestly.
Like hide in it?
Yeah. There, it's pretty dark. It's kind of.
I wonder what's in these cupboards.
There's weird carpets. There's some things inside. Actually, look, Dennis.
Oh,
I don't know.
Things.
They're literally things. You know, things.
Like
objects. When you live in a house and you just collect things.
Yeah.
And you have like a closet full of things. Like, why do I need these things?
That's me.
These are the kind of the things that.
You're
are
a collector of things
all the time.
What's your favorite thing?
I don't know. It's too many. You know.
You don't have a favorite thing.
My coat.
Your coat?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was talking about things standing on the.
Wow, anything.
Do you collect lanyards from events?
Yeah, of course, and all
Everybody
T-shirts
does
in
that.
the beginning of the career.
Okay.
All T-shirts. So I
Yeah.
have a really big collection.
Do you have a
Whoa.
display or do you keep them in the closet?
No, I'm thinking about making a house
Okay.
and bring them on the wall.
Yeah.
Okay, that'd be nice.
Or a
But I need a
museum.
big house because it's like 200.
Just do high ceilings, and then you can do it from floor to ceiling.
Yeah, but first you need to get money to get that. But I will do it. I will try.
Well,
Talking
look,
about getting money.
yeah.
I'm not getting paid by the sponsors, you know, so I need more time. Like,
Well, maybe
you can
we,
afford
maybe
it.
we can get you some sponsors. Now,
Thank you very much.
now look, I saw you the other day. We were coming back from media, right?
Yeah.
Actually, no, maybe we were even coming back from a play day because you arrived for the Legend stage, right?
Yeah.
And we were driving in, and I saw a gentleman. You were with somebody else. I don't know who else you were with, walking down the road out the front of the hotel. And I'm in the shuttle, and I stood up, and I went, "Is that Hooch?" And then everyone turned, and they were like, "Why's Hooch here?" Everyone's like, "Intropi's not here. What's Hooch doing here?" And then I've seen you around. So what is Hooch doing
I'm a
here?
cyber tourist, you know.
Cyber tourist.
It was a meme in Russia, like when the Russian team plays bad,
Okay.
they were called cyber tourists.
Not
So
cyber
I'm
sportsmen?
professional cyber tourist.
All right.
No, I just came here. I live in Spain now, so it's like 10 hours flight straight. So I came here to see the major, to see my friends, to cheer for CIS teams, and just enjoy the moment, you know, because as I said before, it's a celebration, and here in Brazil, it's amazing.
Okay.
Who are your friends?
I have a few.
Who are your favorite people to hang out with at events?
Well, now or
yeah.
at all?
Well, generally.
Oh, it's Sasha, Tonya,
Okay.
Amiran, all my
Navi.
Navi, yeah,
Yeah.
also Cloud9 and Spirit Outsiders. Like I support everyone, but mostly I'm cheering for Navi and Cloud9.
Not Miss Elfie?
I saw her today. We're gonna do an interview. You know,
Oh, really?
Mm.
Yeah, she asked me, not you.
I don't. Look, to be honest, when I saw the picture come up and I saw like a thread on HLTV, I'm gonna be honest, guys. I don't know the name of the porn stars that I
Oh,
watch.
you never.
So
Yeah,
Kinda
you saw her
disrespectful.
movies.
I had no
Really?
idea who she
Yeah.
was until she appeared on the forum.
Really
so,
nice endings, you know, entertaining.
hey, look, there's a big overlap in the
In audience.
demographic.
Do you remember a team Pornhub?
Yes, I do.
Yeah,
yeah,
you,
Did they-
you-
did
it
they
was
become
YouPorn.
Spirit?
It was YouPorn.
YouPorn.
It was a Russian team, by the way.
Didn't they become
the-
Spirit later on? Like
Yeah,
that?
some of them. Yeah,
Yeah.
like it was Sotvik, Dima, Luke.
Okay.
And some of them went to Spirit, and there was girls team called YouPorn Female.
Okay.
Very nice.
Yeah, I wonder how that would have gone at
Hello,
events,
guys.
right? But yeah,
That's Keith over there. Asked him to come on the show at least 10 times.
Oh yeah.
No,
Yeah, he did.
Well,
Shy guy.
and Luku.
there's like where the players have a lounge around here. I didn't even know this area of the hotel existed.
Yeah, the
Me
lounge is
too,
just
me
down
too.
there.
Yeah. Well, normally we have an area with some PCs that maybe people have heard about in recent times that's down a floor and that way.
No, what
The
happened?
situation, room, you mean?
Situation.
Yeah. Well, that room, I didn't even bring peripherals because I thought I'm here in Rio. The major's on. I'm going to be watching every game. I don't have time to play any bloody video games, so I brought my laptop. I didn't bring anything else. The only time I spent in that room is when we gave Tracy's birthday cake, and otherwise I've been in my room
Yeah.
or at the venue, and it's been going quite nicely here. Now there's a couple of different facets. We've got the cyber tourist, we've got Mr. Journalist, and we've got Big Mouth over here. But we also have the home viewer.
Home viewer, okay.
You right now, the people at home in
Yeah.
the Twitch chat. So I want, before we get into the whole overall discussion, you can
Just,
use your fingers and your toes, right?
Yeah.
But how has the major been from Prof's perspective?
Honestly, it's been amazing. Amazing to watch. Like in terms of the teams, the
fucking
games.
ESL shill.
What did you say?
You piece of shit. How dare you?
It's been you have to say like production quality comparing it to like the PGL2 majors that we had, and then not having a major for like 2 years. The jump is huge. So we get the narratives and the storylines that we get at majors usually that the PGL majors had as well, but the production is just so much better in terms of the content, streams, like both A and B streams having like all of the analysts and everything. It just feels really good, and the mixture of interviews put in and then some content pieces, it just flows, and it doesn't feel like we're skipping over important conversations about the tournament, like what's going on. This player has like, I don't know, a record streak of this. Some of these things I felt like, especially in the group stage where you have 2 streams going on at the same time in the past, would be overlooked. So I feel like from that point of view, great. Of course, there's always some like technical issues and whatever. That's classic major stuff, but
I did a good job trying to de-dress.
I
all of that
listened to
confusion.
the other podcast that you do.
The
and,
other podcast,
It
yep.
was like 1 hour of listening to nothing about CS. It was interesting.
Yeah, well, see, the name talk encounter is a little bit, it's a false name. We talk about everything but a lot of the time there. But we'll get into some of those details here today. Now, I want to get into the recent news, then we can get on backtrack with the major. But, Hooch, before we do throw to the bumper for recent news, the people at home are quite curious what's going on with you, right? In Tropic, we were like thinking this team, it's pretty sick. And then there's been some chops, some changes. Things haven't been going well. And now it's going worse.
Yeah, shit happened, obviously. Like, we started playing worse. Right now, I'm still contracted, but probably next year I'm going to work somewhere else. I don't know yet. So, of course, it's really sad, but shit happens. That's it.
Okay. Is there any of those players that were on that team that you want to take with you to somewhere new?
Of course I do, but I don't know what the future holds. So
Okay.
right now, just enjoying Rio.
All right.
Cyber tourist.
Fair
Cyber
enough.
tourist, yeah.
Yeah, look. When I saw you, I was like, wait, Blade's got Hooch here. Are they now? Is there like extra levels to the coaching staff?
Yeah, I don't think Blade needs my assistance because he's so good, like and everything.
Yeah. No, fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
But I'm just like supporting the guys and saying like all the good for everyone in CIS. Just
Okay.
Let's go, guys. You
Yeah.
can do it.
yeah.
All right.
Without me, they wouldn't win. Joking.
Yeah.
All
I
right.
mean, you're here
Look,
for CS teams. in the
Exactly.
playoffs.
You're here.
Numbers
for
don't lie.
teams
Yeah.
are in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Coincidence? I don't think so.
I
It
don't
makes
think so.
sense. All right. Let's get into the bumper. Let's get into the recent news, and let's get this show underway. All right, we're back and we're getting into the recent news. Now, on the top of the list, and one that caught me by surprise yesterday, was Device returning to Astralis, but will not be playing their first event in Finland for the ELIGE Masters in... I don't want to butcher the name of the pronunciation because... Espoo, not
Espoo.
Poo.
Not
Espoo.
Espoo. Not
Okay.
Espoo.
Okay, but there's two O's.
Not
Isn't there two
Espoo.
O's?
What a joke.
There are two.
There are two
So,
O's.
okay, well, that just shows
Espoo.
my ignorance here a little bit. So Device will not be playing. Now, this one caught me off guard. Striker, I know you've been here on the ground, but
Yep.
you've obviously seen this news as
Yep.
well. When you see that, what's your initial reaction?
I was surprised by it, even though the Astralis were kind of talking about how we want to take our time with everything and not really rush things. But the way I took it was just like, okay, they have one tournament until the end of the year. That's what it means, They just don't have anything that important to play in. They don't even have a fifth player. So I thought, okay, they're just gonna play Espoo with maybe like a stand-in, or maybe they can find somebody in time. But I never expected that Device would not actually play that. So I'm curious if that's what the plan was in the first place, because I feel like if that was the plan in the first place, wouldn't you just like announce it at that time, like already when Astralis was in?
Yeah.
Because I feel like this just creates so much hype, like from the Device mounts with, okay, we're gonna see him in Helsinki, and then suddenly they take it away.
Well,
It
they
almost
needed
seems
some
like
good
something-
PR.
It almost seems to me like something that must have happened in the meantime. That's why I'm just so confused about like what the fuck is this?
But what could have happened in the meantime, Prof? You got any ideas?
No, I don't know. It just feels so wrong, and it feels like how can they obviously didn't say that he's gonna debut in Helsinki,
No.
but it was
Sure.
the implication is obvious. Like you don't sign a player, star
Yeah.
player, and then be like, yeah, he's not gonna play this tournament. He's gonna play next year. Like what is this thing? Like
But maybe he's not ready and he's waiting for another guy to join the team so they start the new year and be fresh because he was a title player for Astralis,
Yeah.
like #1, and he comes back. He need to show up. And
So do
maybe
you-
he's
do you
not
think
ready.
that's-
Maybe the team is not ready because maybe Device is ready, but team is struggling recently. And
Yeah.
also you said it's not important tournament, but they don't have so many. Like they played the MOUZ Major and the EliGE has a qualifier for Katowice.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's and now they're playing with the academy guys. So maybe like Device said, I want to wait until we go official.
don't
Because
you
I
feel
heard
like
some rumors that some old guy coming, not old member coming to Astralis.
oh,
Kjaerbye?
Yes.
Really?
There's no way that's
You've
true.
heard that rumor?
Yeah. Outside, some guy who's working here said.
Really? Are you,
No,
are you,
joking,
are you
but
joking?
yeah.
I thought you
No,
were
no, no,
serious.
no, no. Listen, I heard that rumor. Yeah, that maybe Kjaerbye is coming back.
Yeah, I heard it in a way like, oh, imagine if Kjaerbye went back to Astralis. Not like an actual rumor.
Yeah, but I don't know because for me it's like not gonna happen. He didn't show up so good
No.
in point.
mm.
But maybe they give a chance to old lineup and they go full old Astralis. I don't know.
Another last dance.
Well,
I can't.
Last dance.
My brain rejects this idea.
I
so-
don't want to think that's the idea because I'm under the thought still that Astralis need to make some gutting changes to this team.
Yeah.
Glaive, Blame, they can stay. Everybody else has to go. Device comes
Yeah,
to
but
third.
Zipix just prolonged his contract till 2027.
He can be a cyber tourist.
Yeah, like
Right? Look, if they want to win, if they want to win,
they are missing a coach. So
yeah, well, that's true. That's true.
it's very weird that Trace was fired and
Yeah.
Ave didn't work out with Ave because Ave was a mastermind in 1.6
Yeah.
and he was IGL for Zoning's team and he like know about game really a lot and Trace also, but it didn't work out and for me it's I don't know how it happened because
Yeah.
both of them are very good guys and understand game on top level, but I don't know. And they need coach, but I don't see who can possibly join them.
It feels like
But
they've been
Zipnix.
scapegoated.
Zipnix to coach.
Zipnix to coach. But you have to have some things to be a coach. First of all, your will to become a coach.
Yeah.
And if you prolong contract for 5 more years, you don't want to be coach yet.
But could be like a puppet coach, just somebody.
Puppet coach, yeah.
Yeah. No, Glaive just does all the work and you just have him stand behind you, right?
Like, hey guys, nice.
Not the-
Exactly.
So you're
Nice.
saying Robin?
That's the type of coach I want to be. That's I want to be the nice coach. I don't want to be the do
but
anything
there is
coach.
like in football, there are different type of coaches.
Mm.
One of them is like tactics and stuff, and one of them is motivator. So you can be motivating, like guys, let's go.
So two of them work
You lost-
together, yeah. Two of them to work together.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is my my thought now that I think I told this to Striker like when Cloud9 were struggling.
Yeah.
I don't think Groove is like a bad person, but maybe you add Hooch to the combination, and now we have two.
So I'm
two
a bad
very-
person now. Thank you
No,
very
no,
much.
no.
brother.
I don't think he's like a bad coach. That's all I want to say.
I am bad coach.
But you are more person people.
Why are you so mean? What did I do to you? Why you
got him,
Why you
man.
do
What
this?
is
I just
going
came here
on?
like to
What
talk.
is
You're a
going
bad
on?
coach.
He's here on a holiday and you're already.
I just want to
slandering
say
him.
you have different qualities. I think for just looking from the outside, and then if you add these two people together, it might be a better combination than just one.
I don't know. I think that in Cloud9 they have a really good manager, Sasha, who used to be a professional sports player. He
Okay.
was at
He's a
rugby or
big
something.
boy.
guy?
Yeah.
He's a massive
he
dude.
played rugby.
Oh, yeah, that's how
and,
he looks exactly like
the
that.
yeah,
rugby
yeah,
player.
yeah. And I think he's the one who is like,
Okay.
motivating
The
with this.
motivator.
But
Okay,
I think
okay.
Kostya is also like a motivation guy
All
as
right.
well. Maybe he's not so shouty, like not so noisy, but inside they like he talks too much.
Okay. Well, let's put a cap on this Astralis situation. Does anybody else have anything that they
No,
think
I just
is
want
important to
to
say about
kind
this?
of finish. It's for me, it's kind of a joke
Oh.
to bring back a SAR player for like big money and then like not play him. Like regardless of all of these things, like the team doesn't work, blah blah. You just need to get out there, play the fucking game, bring exposure to your team that like needs the points, needs the ranking points, needs the qualifications. Like I know they're not gonna be great, but no one's gonna expect them to like be peak with this lineup. They
No.
just need to go there. The expectations are super low. They just play something and then finish off the year. That's it for
And
me.
I want to confess in one thing. At the beginning of the year,
Mhm.
after Blast on Vplay broadcast, I said that Astralis is going to be top contender and they can beat Navi this year.
Yeah, that's not gonna happen.
That
They're
was me.
not gonna
Why did you bring that?
No, but that's okay. I
I can
respect
say
that.
that because I will make mistakes.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I
They looked
respect it.
good. They were playing nice CS at that event. I thought like, yeah, keep going, guys. I like Astralis, but then no.
This is a different vibe.
See,
to, like,
I had a bit of
analyst
an
work.
understanding that there was some stuff going up here with a few of the members in Astralis, and I was on the opposite side of the fence, and I thought this wasn't going to work, and I would happily say it didn't.
You're right.
So the polar opposites in the chairs, and we'll cap off Astralis, and we have Skinionaire to get into early
Yeah.
here. So we'll get this one done and dusted. Do we have Hooch as our
Yes.
oh,
I will ask questions.
no, I will ask questions. You will answer questions.
Oh, easy.
Yeah.
Easy.
So as normal, we do Who Wants to Be a Skinionaire? Everybody at home, you need to start typing Bitskins in chat now. Flood the chat with them. Make sure that you all get to get your little entry in. It's like a raffle ticket, right?
Kinda, yeah.
You're entering a raffle. That's probably the best way to frame this. Now, who did the questions?
Me.
Okay,
The
so Hooch, if you need help, this is
But
the
questions,
lifeline.
the questions are about us.
Oh,
Yeah.
he is not
Oh.
the lifeline.
Yeah.
I-
Ryan can help.
Guys,
Ryan
I
is there.
barely know you. How I will answer?
Well, yeah, well.
We've known each other for.
Okay. I'll try.
All right, you ready?
Yeah.
All right. Who wants to be a Skinionaire? Let's dim the lights. That's a joke. What do you mean, just a sec? Okay. Who wants to be a Skinionaire? Question 1. Oh, here we go. Question 1. SPUNJ competed in the CGS Championship Gaming Series under which banner?
Seat at the ground.
Bang! Correct. Locking it in.
Not Canberra Cubs.
No.
Not Canberra.
And it's
Canberra
it's Canberra.
No, I don't know.
It's the capital, right?
Yes, it. See?
I've been
You
in
get it.
Australia this year.
Oh,
First
really?
time in Melbourne.
Not cyber.
But I got
tourism.
sick.
Oh,
It was
And the
cyber
weather was
tourism,
shit.
actually.
Yeah, you went to.
But
Where
maybe-
did you go?
Melbourne, ESL Challenger.
But
But which? Oh, but what? Oh, yeah.
I was coach for Team
It's-
Entropic.
no. I meant what month? I meant what month?
One month ago.
Yeah,
like a month ago.
But that's winter, right? They're coming into summer
Yeah.
now.
But still, it was quite hot.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
Yeah, but I hope I will come. I have a 1-year visa. I want to visit different cities.
yeah.
I
Come
want
to
to go Sydney, Perth.
Perth,
yeah,
right?
that's it.
Yeah,
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 yeah.
yeah,
You can
yeah.
see the quackers. That's the go to Rottnest Island. Yeah, all the good stuff. All right. Question number 2. Striker's nickname came from martial arts, Counter-Strike, or football.
Football.
I can't say anything.
Does he look like a football guy?
No, wait.
Look at him. Look at him.
He's from Czech.
You got 45 seconds, so it's all good.
Martial arts, Counter-Strike. Not Counter-Strike. Football.
All right, I'll lock it in. I don't know the answer to this one. We're about to find out something about Striker here today. Option C, football, locked in, and the correct answer is Counter-Strike.
It is the most boring answer ever.
Wow. Wow.
Sorry.
Yeah, I have the same reaction.
I thought I know you. But now, after 8 years, you never told me.
Okay, yeah, you named yourself after Counter-Strike, Striker.
Literally
It's
the
amazing,
most
it's amazing,
boring-
it's-
The most boring other original.
Why
name.
didn't you choose Killer, for example? Cyber Killer.
All right.
Striker.
All right, all
My
right.
first nickname was in CS was actually Psycho.
Psycho.
Yeah.
Psycho Striker.
Psycho
All
Killer.
right, all right, all right. Question number 3.
Oh, it's very hard.
Yeah.
After this question, I'm going in slump.
Which Croatian team did Prof coach in 2018? Was
Easy,
it...
Logistic.
All right.
I thought we were friends, man. What the fuck?
I don't even need to list them. I'll just lock it in. Logistic.
Valiance was Serbian and Game Pop is Serbian as well. And Logistic, the only Croatian organization here.
No,
How do you know this?
he's been around.
He does his job well.
HLTV.org. Nice website. You can read about Counter-Strike.
Well, if you know about HLTV, maybe
Yeah.
you can answer the next question. as well.
Maybe.
All right, this one's locked in. Lucas, give us the correct answer, please. Bang. That was a nice one. Okay, question
Shout
number
out,
4.
shout out to my boy Mario. He had a birthday a couple of days ago, and I had to skip it to go to the major. 30th birthday, the IGL of the team. So, shout
Congratulations,
out to him.
Mario.
All right. Wow, he's made it. 30,
Yeah.
the big number. All right, question number 4. The score's on the door. We've got 2 out of 3 correct. HLTV was founded in which year? 1999, 2002, or 2006?
2006 by Martin Nix and Nomad.
2006? I don't know the answer.
I do know the answer.
You can get a tip from Ryan over there. There's a T-shirt. Actually, the year on the T-shirt doesn't work.
2002 or 2006.
It's yeah. Ignore Ryan.
Well, Counter-Strike was founded in 2001, right? 2002.
All right, locking in 2002. And Striker, look,
Few fakes.
that'll go
Nobody
unnoticed.
saw that. Nobody saw
Nobody saw it. You cover your mouth. Nobody can see what you're saying, right? We don't have microphones in front of them. Oh, you know what I mean? Locked in 2002. And the correct answer is 2002. All right, wonderful. That's 3 out of 4. We'll move into question number 5, the 5th and final. Which season of HLTV confirmed are we in? 3, 6, or 9? This is the most ridiculous question.
Even I don't know. Man.
Season, I didn't know you have seasons.
Me
guys.
either, man.
That is the trick.
9 or 6. 9 or 6. 6 or 9.
It's not 9.
We started in 2018.
6.
All right, lock it in 6. Correct answer is
Yes.
6. There we go.
I'm
4
a
out of 5.
millionaire.
Yeah, and someone at home is
Yeah.
going to win a skin valued at, what is that, $15?
Wow.
So that's not too shabby. That people at home get to win, thanks to Hooch,
Yeah.
who
You're welcome,
smashed
guys.
it right there.
You're
See?
welcome.
But I'm surprised you didn't put a question in there like, at which event did Hooch beat SPUNJ and ruin his entire life?
We don't. Nobody. Knew
I
this.
know.
Nobody knew this answer.
This is a
What was
bonus
it?
one.
You
You get
remember they beat Dignitas.
you get this one
and
right.
almost qualified to the major.
You get this one right, and I'm gonna bump it up to the $50 skin.
Okay, I answer it.
Yeah.
MLG Columbus 2016.
Yep. And what was the team?
Your team Renegades.
Your team?
Gambit.
Map?
Train.
Yeah, you
Easy,
fucked us.
easy,
Yeah.
easy.
All right. Someone at home wins a $50 skin now, and after that, what?
I'm a what?
Amatin.
A-M-E-T-I-N.
It's great to have Amaranth here tuning in.
Amaranth.
Shout out to
Yeah,
Amaranth.
Amaranth,
She's been doing a
Amaranth.
great job. No, but Amatin, congratulations. You can
Amatin.
thank Hooch, and our people will be reaching out to your people, and you'll be getting the good skins in your inventory at some point, I'm sure. All right, well, that's Who Wants to Be a Skinionaire. Now we can get into the juicy, juicy talk of the major.
Yeah. Can I ask Ryan, the gentleman over there, can you look to your right and see a girl squatting on the ground, not having a place to sit because you are fucking spreading on the couch? He's actually working. Yeah. Just to
Hey,
give
we
her
are
some
working.
space, to give Heku some space so she can sit down.
Guys, there's already been enough fighting in this building.
What
Do
a
we have to
gentleman.
have
What
any
a
more?
gentleman.
Jesus.
Come on, everyone. Let's
What a
everyone calm down. Everyone relax. There's
Okay.
heartbreak of players. There's been a lot of epic moments. All right. Hi, Heku. Thanks for joining us. Okay, so let's get into talking about the major thus far. Now, Prof, I got you to give your synopsis from the viewer at home standpoint. Obviously, the forums, the Reddits, they have short memories or they're young, so I'll let a lot of them off the hook. I'm not even going to care about the people making comments about things that they have no idea about and complaining. That's fine. That's their prerogative. They're the viewer. They can do whatever they want. But most of you are wrong, so that's cool. But I don't know where to start, right? Because we've obviously had the Challenger stage, the Legend stage gone through. We've had the big conversation about the crowd. Maybe we talk about where we are, because I think that there's a big push and a big conversation. We've been to Brazil several times for events before, right? We've done 2 Sao Paulos. There's been a Belo Horizonte, and
There's
missing
Rio
one?
DreamHack as well.
Yes, and that was like a
years ago.
VP Furia type final situation when they were
Yeah.
Avant-Garde. They weren't
Yeah.
VP at the
Yeah.
time, right?
Yeah, Vertigo just got
Avant-Garde won.
introduced.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, but we've been here several times before, and in most of these different occasions, there's been look, we were here for Blast, we've been here for Pro League, we've been here for was it Pro League twice?
Pro
no,
League
Pro
and
League
the
and,
ESL one.
ESL one.
Yeah, and Blast.
Blast and Pro League were São Paulo, and
Yes.
the ESL one was Belo Horizonte.
Yes. So I've been here for a plethora of different reasons, and this time, and I'm sure that's the setup and the fact it's a major and the fact we have big Brazilian teams here and everything, but the turnout has been crazy, right? And I'm sure if you're a viewer at home and you're just seeing it, you're probably fucking fed up of hearing it, but being in that environment, it's crazy.
Yep.
Like
It's amazing.
It's mental. Like I
It's
wasn't.
something different, you know.
Yeah.
I never experienced something like that. It's never before. I saw arena in Copenhagen. It was crazy, but here like 3,000 people shouting like it's 20,000 people,
Yeah.
and everyone enjoying like dancing and stuff.
Yeah, it's like a party.
Yeah,
Right?
Yeah, it does.
and I feel the vibe, you know. After a couple of days here, you feel like Brazilian. You want to listen to the music,
Yeah.
take caipirinhas, walk on the beach and stuff. So it's nice.
Well, that's nice. We do have the beach across the road from here, but you've obviously been here as well in the building. Has it made doing interviews and stuff difficult with how fucking loud it's been at times?
Yeah. You can't really tell. It's funny because like when I listen back to the video interviews, I just hear when I raise my voice, but it doesn't come through like why I'm raising my voice.
Yeah.
Like you can't tell that how loud it. Like I'm standing like maybe like this close to the other person, like to you, right? And I can't hear what they're saying. Like I'm just guessing what they're answering
Yeah.
to my question. Like
It's
it's so
crazy.
difficult.
It's been wild in that regard, and I think that the moment for me where it shifted from they support their teams to they're actually enjoying a good game of Counter-Strike was that Vitality versus NAVI series, that Mirage game.
no, actually they're cheering for Navi.
But
You need
It
to choose
wasn't-
another game. But
it
yeah,
wasn't a Brazilian team. Which right, even though you can be a fan of Simple and Navi because they're a big brand, right? That right there, as we know, is always a fantastic matchup having Zyro and Simple in the same server, right? And when I walked into the arena that day and the crowd was popping off for individuals that weren't their countrymen, that's when it hit me. Because in the first week, I was like, okay, they're 9Z, 00 Nation, Imperial, Furia, they're getting all the love. That's fine. I expected that coming here. And we all know that this was going to be, in one direction as opposed to the other. But when I saw that, and then it's carried through, like Liquid got a lot of love, right? There's definitely fan favorites, but to see that it isn't just nationalistic,
yeah, fact. But
that's the bit that changed.
But
for
when
me.
FaZe Cloud9 was playing and Simple entered the arena, everyone turned down and said, Simple. They didn't watch the match.
Really,
Yeah, and I saw it.
That's great.
Yeah.
Well, he is the god, the absolute deity we've got around here. But I think for me, like this experience, and there has been a lot of, I would say, the Brazilian players saying, hey, we need an event here every year, right? I think that there's a strong case that if you wanted to have another, like we know we've got Blast Arena with Copenhagen. We know we've got Cologne. We know we've got Katowice. Those are going to fill out time and time again.
Yeah.
I think if you can come here to Brazil in Rio every year, and you can make sure that you have FURIA here as a minimum, then you can have this experience every single year. This could
have
become...
Maracana. We can have Maracana, like
Yeah.
much more stadium than it's.
Well-
it's like 18,000 people coming to the Genius Arena, or how
Yeah.
it's
Something
called.
like that,
Yeah, and outside it's going to be 15,000 people. And like there is more people to watch Counter-Strike.
Yeah. But this could become a mainstay, right? I don't
Yeah.
think anybody would be too upset with that being the case, right? Other
I'm
than
totally with it.
Yeah, I think that if we can have across our year a bunch of tour stops, right, and this is one of them, right, as part of that, like we all know that, well, at least I think most people think that Counter-Strike in its purest, most raw, best form is in front of a big crowd with even playing field and the players getting their opportunity to be our modern day gladiators entertaining,
Yeah.
right? And that right there, once you're in that mode and you're in that, because we lost this for 2 years because of COVID. And now that we're back in it, Stockholm was great. Antwerp was great, right? Katowice and Cologne, right? They delivered as well. This is going to, I do not know what we're going to expect, but if it's anything like what we've already had and it's amplified in the way that we think it's going to be, it is going to be fucking insane. And then it would be disrespectful to these fans to not attempt to come back here every year.
Yeah.
How could you not?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it was, I think for the first couple of days was also kind of a period of getting used to what the crowd is like and everything. There was a lot of the discussion about crowd cheating and stuff like this. Then there was the whole us against them. You don't understand Brazil. It was like it was an annoying vibe for me. I think throughout the event things got better. I think both sides kind of understood, okay, this is how Brazilian crowd acts, so we know kind of what to expect. And the crowd also needs to adapt a bit to like this traveling circus around the world. Like, of course, there's football culture and how people do stuff in football, but this is also CS. So
Yes.
there needs to be some understanding of like, there needs to be a middle ground essentially.
Yeah.
I think we are kind of moving towards that direction across the
What
tournament.
middle grounds you mean? Like
I mean, in terms of like the whole, there are a couple of these situations during the groups, especially for like when FURIA was playing, when it was
I know
obvious that this wasn't cheering because it's exciting, it was cheering to get information to the players.
but-
Like that was the attempt. I'm not saying it got to the
Yeah, a
players.
lot of
Yeah.
times
actually it's a
but-
big deal, but what to do? Like
I think,
But, like,
I,
you
but I
can-
think I wanted to address this because I feel like that what ESL did, just like those couple of warnings
Yeah.
where they just like took it off, that was enough to show the
Yeah, this
people
is
that,
not-
that okay,
yeah.
this is not okay, and you have to behave. And since then, I was in the arena a lot during the
Yeah.
FURIA games.
maybe
I
couple.
did not see that again.
Yeah.
So it
But
worked.
it
It was
happened
just like a small
in
warning
other
and it
matches
worked.
because when like someone's flanking or something.
Yeah,
like
I mean,
the-
Yeah, but that's like normal things that
Yeah,
we
it's
what
normal.
I just want to
literally
say that
everywhere,
it's a
right?
difference between like, oh, someone's on a flank and you see
Yeah,
the
yeah,
kill's
I
gonna
know what
happen,
you mean.
and that's like normal. And then there's like a guy going left and right with his mouse, just like moving a bit, and as he goes closer, he's like, ooh, and then he goes back, and then it's not
Yeah,
excited,
yeah.
and then he goes down.
Like,
What is this? This is not a normal
Vertigo this
reaction.
moment.
Yeah,
Pissed around.
There's
yeah.
vertigo, and there was I think it was overpass moment as
Yeah,
well.
yeah.
Like that is just like you're trying to get the information to the player, and that's not cool.
But
Yeah,
did
yeah.
they remove radar and
Just for like brief
X-ray?
moments, like whenever they saw that there was going to be like reactions and things like that. So they've been very reactionary with how they took it. Like the minimap, I think they only did once during that Navi game. I think.
Yeah.
No one looked at the
Uh,
minimap anyway.
But then what they started to do now, right? So obviously there was a bit of drama that kicked off because it wasn't the forethought, unfortunately, right? And these things happen. Wasn't there to make sure that Gorlez's feed out to everybody at home still had the radar and the X-ray.
Yeah.
Right. It needed to just be an in-arena situation.
Yeah. So then
Um,
it did 2 feeds and
Yeah, and then I think MC has been responsible for turning off the X-ray in those type of clutch situations so that it's not, because this is the thing, if the fan can't see the X-ray, then they're not knowing what they have to react to. They will react as it happens as
Yeah.
opposed to preemptively. So I think that's a good measure. But I think the issue I saw was Brazilian fans got offended by that and thought it was targeted at them.
Yeah.
But we have been discussing this because of the Danish fans
Yeah,
for
originally.
several years.
Yeah.
So the Brazilian fans need to understand this is not an attack at them, right? This is something that as we were attempting to fix these things in Udense of 2019, right? That's when it was still somewhat of a noticeable experience.
Yeah.
there was big discussions with ESL, and I know I was having them about what we could do as ways to help coach the crowd in what is the etiquette.
Yeah.
Because you saw when the booth conversation started again, Jason made a tweet, and to that tweet, a lot of players replied and were like, "We prefer the open environment." They came out and said it, right? You feel more, involved in it. And they said it. Whereas the people at home go, "We need to be in booths." If we're going to do that, let's just put them in their bedrooms, right? And they can play from home. Who cares? So the way that it was spoken about a couple of years ago was having players, especially the hometown heroes. So let's say we were in Denmark, have Glaive go say, "Hey guys, we want a fair match. We have a PSA. Show, hey, when this happens, don't do this, but do this, right?" And try and educate in that way. So this measure of disabling X-ray and that kind of stuff, it was already discussed previously.
Yeah.
It wasn't targeted at them because they're Brazilian, right?
Just like the first big event that needed it to happen.
Exactly. And I think at that point, there could have been questions of, should it have been done sooner? Should it have been done immediately? All of these things. We're learning, right? We're still something that's in its infancy as an esport, especially in these type of experience. Not an esport, just a fucking entertainment product, right? A competition. So I think the thing that people are jumping onto is, and this is the other problem I have, people expect things to change immediately. Like I said, we're learning. Things are going to take time. We need to make sure that we can be adult about it and look at it from a level-headed standpoint, and don't be fucking hindsight Harrys.
Yeah.
Right? We should have done this. We should have done that. Fuck off. Like, you're just writing on a forum, right? Expecting you don't have the same level of consideration, and that's why we're here trying to offer up these bits of information. And this is the thing on my other podcast that I did that pissed me off so bad. When I spoke about this degster stuff, right? I just get labeled as a shill. Right? Okay, fair enough. I like working for this company. I like this company. I enjoy working for this company because I think they put on good events. I know the people at home don't think that. And that's fine. But
no more majors for us.
Yeah, but when degster comes out and makes these claims, right? He comes out and makes these claims on social media that are unequivocally not true. They're not true. There's no dancing around it.
You use that word very well so that other media from other countries can't quote it. I love
Chad,
that.
tell me, degster wrote in Twitter about matches and delays. It's not true?
No, it was
no.
that caused them.
He wrote, right? He said that the people from ESL, this isn't verbatim, he said they were doing nothing to help.
They're working. It's a work. Of course they do something. No, they're like, I have PC crash.
Yeah, I'll get some coffee. See you and have it.
Hey, friend, something like that. No, it's not.
That's the bit that offended me the most, is because I know
why you're offended.
Why?
Yeah,
because it's a stupid thing for a person with a big influence to say.
It's first time you hear the influencer talking shit.
No, I see it all the time. But the problem is,
the real
You
world,
get
bro.
tilted all the time too. Though.
The problem is with this situation, when I know that these people are getting 4 hours sleep because they're staying up trying to fix the issue, and degster's making that. It's those people who are my friends and also my colleagues.
Then I understand.
Right?
Yeah.
And I take offense to that. Right? I'm not defending ESL. I'm defending individuals. I'm defending people who I like. And when you target those type of issues and you say that something's not happening, when we have Michał Slavinsky, who's the fucking goat of League Ops, he set the standard.
Michał.
Yeah. He set the standards. He is the man who's set the standards over the years.
Man, I remember, by the way, like just to interject just a tiny bit, do you remember a conversation with Michał in like 2014 at the qualifier for the major in Katowice? There was a qualifier for the major. You had some issues with the tournament, and you had a conversation with Michał.
And I said that something is not.
He came to this is just like a super quick story, right? Like we were talking with Hooch like somewhere backstage. There was like some issues with the tournament or whatever, and we were just like talking about it, about something ESL did. I don't know exactly what the issue was. But then like Michał just came in and he's like, "I'm sorry, I didn't give you the time to like talk to about like what your issues are. Can we please talk now?"
Yeah.
And they just like, he came to him and immediately asked like, "Okay, cool, what is it that you have an issue with? What can we do?"
Of course,
so like it's just like a little story.
Everyone should understand that it's not easy to host a tournament, and there is always delays and the problems. Like of course, players are offended and mad because they just lost the game, but you shouldn't have excuses of your poor performance towards managers and stuff. Of course, it's effects, because if you play the game and something happens, you sit for 2 hours and doing nothing, and meanwhile someone just finished the game, you always say that made a change for us.
Yeah.
But shit happens, like everyone experienced delays and stuff during the games. and it's not nice to, I think, to attack admins who are trying to do their best.
Well, especially when the whole point of running an event is to run the smoothest event humanly possible.
Yeah.
You want the players, right? And I think
It's
ESL
their
look after
job.
the players very well, right? You want them to have a good time. You want a positive response, right? The last thing you're looking for is any negativity, right? So it's quite a unique position to be in. And I got the chat up right now, and people are like,
Chat is talking,
I know, right? But it's like, why do these people take the word of a 21-year-old as gospel on Twitter, right? And as opposed to me,
Bro, that's how things work.
They are the stars,
it-
right?
I am
That's
here just
influence.
trying to provide information so they can diagnose the situation better. But I get labeled as a bad guy. It's
Good-
like I'm just
good
trying to
luck
help
with that.
everybody.
Well,
Yeah, it's
deal with
good,
it.
but like people don't like it so much, you know.
I know, and it's like it just puts me in such a weird
Oh,
position.
chat is playing, not playing. He's just sitting and saying some things. Imagine you are playing like blah blah blah.
Mate, back when we used to play,
Yeah.
it was fucking a million times harder than it is right now than the
We were
conditions
talking with
these
my
guys
friend
have.
yesterday. Like we started in like playing in bad places and not going anywhere, and now people in Rio de Janeiro, and they should be like cheerful for that,
Yeah.
grateful for that, like because
Food
we
everywhere.
saw the bad side of CS, and we see the good side now. So
Yeah.
people should benefit it.
Well, it's not a problem anymore. He unfollowed me on Twitter, so that's it. You know, that's the end of it now.
Or you can just block people, you know.
That's the end of it. So it's all over. It's all over. So, dude, this same guy is just look. Lavineers,
Bro,
admit it.
stop. It's just road to nowhere.
You're right. You're right.
Intervention, hooch. Stop.
Oh, okay.
Sponge,
Yes,
you're looking good today, actually.
I was
Yeah.
doing media.
What's up with the shirt? Like it's
What do you mean?
Yeah.
it's
You look like a rich Australian
like the
who just won Australia Open or something like that.
I just
the
I
bar
just
is
had to go-
here. You set the bar so low that like you blow over it right
well,
now.
this is the thing, right? So when you pack for the major, you make sure that you have a nice shirt for every day. But as a caster, and I thank God this is the case, you don't actually have to be on camera every day. So you have a couple of extras, and then you bring them out now when you're doing a podcast. I'll wear a button-up shirt every day we do the podcast. How's that sound?
Whoa.
Damn.
I'll dress up. I'll dress up for everybody.
Damn.
I'm casting tomorrow, but I won't be casting on Friday.
Okay.
So I'll have a lot more time. Tomorrow's going to be an interesting one with how we're doing this because we haven't said it. Well,
Yeah, it's fine.
we don't know. Yeah, we don't know who we're getting.
Peacemaker's reached out. He said
Yeah.
he would be interested. I know that there's a bunch of different
Yeah.
names that we can pick here. Now, maybe we should talk about some of the results.
Yeah, maybe.
Let's
Maybe.
get
Yeah.
into
Maybe.
the actual major.
How much?
shall we?
What time is it?
It's
like 45.
yeah,
Okay,
1
it's
hour?
not that bad.
Yeah.
45 minutes.
yeah, we're doing all right.
Okay, let's.
we didn't talk about a single result in 45.
We're talking about the
Figure it out.
losers first or the winners?
Let's talk about the big shocks.
The big, yeah,
Right.
shockers.
So I think off the top, right, and again, this is another one that's going to start tilting me. So I'm just going to put this out there, and
Bro, turn off the chat, please.
this isn't to do with the chat. This is to do with the discussion just around formats because we talk about
Right.
formats a lot, right, all the time.
I can say.
Yeah.
I can say. It's always gonna be hard because there is no perfect solution, you know. Everyone's saying that book calls is not nice, but we don't have another option. Of course, like some teams playing better teams, some teams play worse teams, but it's hard to fix. Swiss system was also criticized all the time.
But the-
Groups GSL sucks, so
The old system of Swiss was, I remember Snappy complaining a lot about this because he was always in one of these underdog teams.
Yeah.
You go into Swiss and you have pre-seeding, and your team is seeded 14th out of 16, and you beat number 1, number 2, and
Yeah.
third round
Number
you need to
three.
beat number 3.
yeah.
And that is ridiculous.
And
That
then
is
we get
ridiculous.
book calls.
And then the number 1 team just gets all of the shitty team. They get first you get Greyhound, then
Yeah.
you get one IHC, then you get
Nothing
You
wrong
know.
with Greyhound, you know?
You know.
They beat
It's
Cloud9.
like his face, like, right now.
and actually just think of that from the perspective of this exact tournament. Like FaZe shitting the bed, like Vitality shitting the bed. Why do they, after Vitality, for example, especially, they played a lot of games and they objectively were not good.
Yes.
And we determined that they're not good, and we still need to see them number 3. Why?
Yep.
Why? Explain me why.
And how would you, right, if you reseeded with them going 3-2, would you possibly have the audacity to seed them higher than other teams? How could you? We
Yeah.
haven't seen a lot of the Legend teams play. You've just seen Vitality be subpar. How can you go, oh yeah, but let's make them the third best team in this tournament?
No, it's stupid.
It's
and then
ludicrous.
people are like, oh, they lost to number 3. Number 3 was shit. They were not good.
Okay, guys, you're talking facts, but what's the solution?
So
No, I'm
this
not-
is first things first. I think we don't need, or we do need at the moment, but we shouldn't have a challenger and a legend stage. We should have all 24,
24.
teams,
Mm.
and but the problem is I can't work out a format that works for 24 teams.
But someone can, I think.
Yes, someone much smarter than me definitely can.
And
But
me.
I think 24 teams in the same group stage, right, at the same time. I don't like the idea that some teams play the first week, because right now we have 5 out of 8 teams in the champion stage who came from the challenger stage. Now, what does that mean? I don't know. But I don't like even having to draw that distinction. It's the same tournament.
But what if a tournament lasts longer? It's not good at all, right?
Well, I feel
like
like
PUBG tournaments, there are months, and everyone like people always criticize Pro League that it's very long.
yes,
But
that's
for
true.
24 teams, you need more time.
Yeah.
And then if you don't have a lot of time, you need to make 3 matches a day.
Yeah.
So people don't watch many streams. You
yeah,
know?
or you need to play 2 games as a team. And
Yeah,
then
and I
people
think like
also
playing
don't
on
like it.
Major, 2 BO1s in the same day is not good.
That I would like if they would be able
And
to
especially
expand.
here, because I think it was really hard for the teams. I will explain. Like, if you're at arena, there is
Logistic-wise,
no
yeah.
quiet place, to
Mm.
chill and relax.
That's
and you
true.
just finish the match. You either go back to the hotel and like drive. It also takes some power out of you. or you
Also,
say,
like the
"Oh,
drive from this hotel to the arena
Can be
is
Yeah,
40
like
minutes.
for 30, 40
30 minutes. And if
yeah.
it's traffic jam, it's 1 hour.
Yeah.
So you stay there, and it's a lot of people, and it's loud
it's
and
draining,
stuff.
yeah.
it's
So
very
it's really
difficult to
hard. But
chill.
also, I think BO1s at the same day. I think they should get rid of BO1s. So make the tournament a little bit longer, but everyone plays BO3,
BO3, yeah.
and it's gonna be more fair.
So we'd need
I say it's a guy who qualified for the champion stage winning 2 BO1s. I don't think it's fair.
so
I mean, even if the BO3s were only just for the legend stage full BO3, then
Yeah.
that wouldn't be that big of a difference. If you leave the challenger stage opening BO1s, so you can save like a day or 2 there, but add that day maybe to the legend stage. Maybe you
we would need a whole other day, right?
Yeah, but there's also
Yeah,
a
but
break
it's
day.
major. You
Yeah,
know,
I know, I know,
it
but it's
happens
just
two,
one- it's
two,
just
3
one day.
times a year
Yeah,
maximum.
But there's
One day's
also
fine.
an off day between the
Yes.
first 2 groups.
Yeah, but this is and before we had bigger gaps as well, right?
Yeah.
Before, so and it's also been shrunk. Valve clearly want it to be as quick as possible,
Yeah.
right? But look, that's a conversation to have as well about the best of ones and the best of threes. Like, look,
I just think, okay, so here's what I'll say about the seating, right? I think what people fail to realize is that it needs to be fixed at the roots rather than at the end, because that's like at the end is kind of like where we had the problems, right? Like, or let's say in the middle of the way with those opening matchups with the Legend stage.
so
Because
what?
that was kind
so-
of like a result of the challenger stage as well as the original seating. That's not the result.
So
Well,
you
yeah,
want
it
to
was the
adjust
result.
the seatings after
I
one
think
stage?
you need to fix the seating at the beginning, right? It's like, and just make sure that you have the order, like the teams ordered,
Yeah.
and then reordered again at the start of the legend stage.
For
Maybe-
example, high seeded team loses in first match, and they go downgrade. How
I
much?
mean, for example, like
It's
we
really
had
hard
the,
to find the amount, like of the number.
Yeah, I
they
mean,
go
we
down.
had the Kjaerbye system, right? Like where it was like first of all, it was like player decided, right? Like
was
and
that
that's-
at the major?
yeah. This
Katowice
was
2019.
Katowice Major.
Okay.
So this was a solution that Valve were happy with, or at least like
At
gave
the
the
time,
go-ahead for
though.
at the time. I don't
Yeah.
know if that anything's changed in that, but then again, I've also been asked by a certain ESL executive why this system isn't being used again. So maybe there was a conversation behind the
Okay.
scenes. But that would have been like a solution, because the way that it worked there was if there was an like you had a predetermined seating by the
Yeah.
players, by the teams, so they did the
when
the
when
elo.
the team said,
and then there
Yeah.
was an elo. So if there was an upset, the team who was like, let's say the number 16 team beat the number 1
Yeah.
team, they would go closer. Like the number 1 team would drop a few
Yeah.
seedings down, and then the
That's
16
a
team
good
would
one.
drop
Yeah.
would raise a few seedings ups, so that you use the in-tournament results, but not so much where like it's just
Yeah,
like you're suddenly like the number 1 team
I
because
think
you
it's a
you
good
pull off
idea,
one upset.
but
you know?
we should write it like. So
Yeah, I
people
mean
understand.
we can check back. Like I don't know what the actual formula was, because I wasn't.
But what to
behind the
do
scenes
now
or
with
whatever.
book holds, like with America losing one spot,
Yeah.
and now the team that starts the tournament with 0-2, you can qualify.
Yeah, the RMR is gonna be weird.
How
Yeah,
they
the
gonna
RMRs
fix
are going to
that?
be
Yeah.
interesting for
Mm.
sure.
Yeah, that's a whole new problem,
I mean,
isn't it?
but then you just have to go 3-1 in the Swiss, right? But like I don't know.
Yeah,
how
but
they're
still,
gonna
but
fix
like
that.
you can lose to BO1s
Yeah,
and then
no,
win
and
3
you can-
matches.
and you're
They,
just
not
but
qualify.
the,
Yeah,
but the
yeah, right.
rules are that the elimination games are BO3, so that means
Maybe they'll push
the
it, yeah.
O2 game is gonna be BO3.
or 1. Or
0-1,
1.
0-1
1,
game
yeah.
gonna be
Okay,
BO3.
Yeah, must be,
Maybe.
must be.
Anyway, I think this is just like
Again,
a conversation. we
let's
should
talk
leave for
about,
later.
Again,
let's
zero
talk about
words
FaZe.
about results.
I
Zero.
saw Kerrigan
Yeah.
checking out, and I
Yep.
think checking in again. I think they're sticking around. I
Yeah.
don't know.
I
Yeah,
think
I
I saw
think it's
Twist is also sticking around.
Yeah.
So
I think if you got your +1s here,
yeah,
you really don't get a choice. You know, if they fly 12 hours, you're probably hanging around for the event, right? That's kind of
Might
how
as
that's going to work.
Yeah.
I could say if my +1 was here and I got eliminated, that would be the case, right?
And it's
So
also like they don't have anything to play because I think FaZe aren't in Espoo, right? And then a
It's
lot of these
just-
teams aren't in Espoo.
you have
so, like,
Blast.
just Copenhagen,
two
yeah.
blasts and that's it.
And
Yeah,
we
but
can
that's like
stay
at the
and
end
explore Brazil.
But that's
and
like at the end of the month, so they have like a couple weeks before that. It's gonna be fine.
And look, even though you're maybe not going to get
Are
to
you
play,
gonna say the blast doesn't matter?
No, I'm saying even though maybe you're not going to get to play, or definitely not going to get to play, still you'd want to witness that arena, and I think that's motivation as well to go in there and be like, we missed out on this, right?
Yeah.
Now the FaZe one, I think the biggest talking point, the best of ones, whatever, it's the Bad News Eagles series, which
That was very
underwhelming.
Yep.
So the Vertigo, what do we feel as a consensus here about Vertigo?
I
Because they
think-
wanted to play 7 maps. They said it in an interview, but
It's
when
easy
you're
to
live
say.
on the line,
It was not at the time. Yeah, you know, I would have understood if like the problem was that they played the two best, like the two really good teams at the beginning, so they wouldn't have wanted to risk playing Vertigo there. You know, they would have wanted to
And
play
best
like
of
a map
ones,
that- So like
especially.
it would have been great for FaZe if they had a chance to play somebody worse at the
And it
beginning, so
wasn't
that they can get it
elimination, yeah.
out of the way. On let's say the 2-0 game, you know, they maybe they
Sorry,
played out there.
I don't understand. You're talking about Benye?
yeah.
They don't play overpass. How 7 maps?
No, but
No, he was talking about
FaZe.
FaZe.
No,
FaZe.
FaZe
sorry,
want to
sorry.
play
Yeah,
7
because
maps.
they-
Sorry.
Yeah,
sorry.
because
I
they
think
pulled
it's
out the
crazy.
Vertigo, right?
I think it's crazy.
Yeah, there we go.
Because FaZe was good on Ancient and they like have good style, and Benye just lost to Spirit on this
Yeah,
map.
pretty big time.
And they
as well.
decided to play Vertigo, which was played by Benye against 0-0 Nation. If you look at stats, of course, Benye is not so good on Vertigo, but I
Yeah.
think it's
Better than FaZe.
it's a big risk to play on elimination game.
To be honest,
Yep.
didn't they play Vertigo against Sense?
Yes, they did in the grand
and
final
won
though,
it.
in a best of 5.
Yes.
Where you have plenty of chances
I
to
know,
fuck up.
I know, but
And it's not that
this is being like you said. They wanted to take it out against a bad team. I love those guys, but they are a bad team. They're the worst team in the. Them and Sprout were the obvious Zol
in
picks
the legend stage.
for sure. Like out of the field, the bad teams that they could play, that was the team to play it against. And
Yeah, but not in an elimination game. That was the
yeah,
problem.
I mean, in the end, it matters, but it doesn't matter. Like they should have won Mirage as well, but they didn't. So
Look, let's
I think it's just like a risk that you're not supposed to take at that point. Like, you know, you're like it's like
the way
Yeah, but
I
maybe
saw
they
it-
prepared
the
map.
way I saw it, it's also obviously they said they're working on 7 maps, so maybe that was a mistake, maybe in the start because
Yeah,
you then
sure, I mean,
don't
but-
work on as much as in
But-
depth, but you go wide.
that idea is fine.
But I also like it from the perspective of like whatever, like in the end, if they lost to BNE, they wouldn't win the major. Like
No.
that cannot happen.
If
right?
you lost
so
on
they're
Ancient,
going like, okay, we're gonna do this because this is our kind of trump card to win later against Navi, to win in the playoffs, to like set this all up. And I feel like that's like a very championship mentality.
you
that I
think
could-
it's a good? You think it was a good choice?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
I don't think it's like it's easy to say in hindsight it wasn't a good
No.
good choice.
No, but
I appreciate it. I see how it works for them, right?
Yeah,
It
but
doesn't work.
didn't work.
It doesn't
Yeah.
work for Cloud9, you know. Some other teams shouldn't do that, but I feel like FaZe, it makes sense.
Let
for
me
them.
let me put it this way, right? All of that logic I can get behind, but let me give you the logic of the other side of the fence. Hooch, you're
Yeah.
Bad News Eagles. You're a massive underdog. You're going up against FaZe,
And they remove Ancient,
and they just removed Ancient. Do they
because-
seem scared?
of course.
Yeah.
No, not scared.
I think they seem fucking
not
scared.
Yeah.
confident. Like
But the problem is like FaZe. This is the problem with FaZe this whole year. They don't have the aura of Astralis untouchable team. They constantly look.
For me, that's a sign
beatable.
of weakness.
They constantly look beatable. And it's not just this Vertigo thing. It's
Yeah.
like just how look at their RMR results. Overtime. They play like 40 rounds per game, per map.
yeah, but CS is that like it's very hard now.
But
you
I'm
know,
just
it's
saying,
very
like, they
competitive.
never
Everyone
had-
plays 16-14.
They
the
never
matches.
they never had that aura of like that people need to be scared of them.
No, but this is the thing. Like if
But still their
I'm putting,
face, no?
What?
But their face.
They're great, but like you can play against them. That's the thing. They don't really destroy people.
I'm putting myself right in Bad News Eagles shoes. That's what I'm doing here.
Yeah, I mean,
and
I'm right behind you.
And
Yeah,
I'm
go ahead.
understanding that this is the best team in the world, the favorite of this event. And they have just given me a golden opportunity. They have gone a map that they don't play. I'm a team that likes to play my own style anyway, right? Counter-stratting from Bad News Eagles is probably not something that's even on the list of things to do when they prep for a match, right? So when I look at it that way and I understand that I've just been given the door that was fucking shut. This was going to be hard. I'm probably going to get 2-0'd. We're going to get slammed. It's just creaked open. And then with those guys who are a confidence team, They're a fuck you team.
Yeah.
I've just gone, well, fuck you. You think that you can beat us on Vertigo? You this brazen against us. This is the major.
Yeah.
And then you come out and you thump them. And then you don't thump them. It was a close game. They definitely could have won it. But you beat them, and that's all that mattered in the situation. Then you lose on Nuke. That was always going to happen. You go into Mirage. It's a fucking pug. It is it becomes a pug at that point. And they lost in overtime as well.
I think it was like talking about the end of Mirage, for example. I think there was a lot of mistakes made there from FaZe, because I think leading up to that 15-10, the way that FaZe won those rounds was just Juan Flatro was just like making stupid moves in connector or just like in lower, and just like constantly getting picked off, and FaZe just play the advantage and they win. They get to 15-10 and Kerrigan makes his like rush call because he wants to end it as soon as possible. Typical Kerrigan call, and I think that's a super bad mistake, because like you're playing it to be in his hand. They embrace chaos. They love these rushes. They love to play in situations where there's like where you don't know what's gonna happen, and it's really fast and very reactionary, super skill based. So like, why not just play what you just played?
But
like,
so
just
it's
wait
always
for them.
easy to say like it was wrong tactics if they lose. But yeah, when you know
I mean,
that the
but, like,
opponents
it's-
have low economy,
that's
you
what
can play it slow, wait for them to make a mistake,
But
and do the execute, of course. But sometimes in CSGO, you just go like, let's push. FaZe against NAVI last two, 3 rounds, they just do the same script at the time.
Yeah.
So yeah, of course, I think that FaZe felt the pressure, and I don't think it's a big mistake by Kerrigan. Maybe in another game it would work. But elimination game, they felt.
But it's more because of the style of BNE that I'm talking about.
Yeah,
not
it's
not
easier
because-
to get the rush than to
Yeah.
play it slow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's also just because of like how mistake prone BNE can be, and it's just like going.
Yeah,
for,
but
like,
you know,
simple
you're
individual
0-2, you
plays.
just lost the vertigo, and like,
What-
even if you're Kerrigan, like you think you may be a little bit nervous or something like that.
Yeah.
Well, let's play Nostradamus here a little bit, right?
Let's
So
do
it's a little bit with FaZe teams where not FaZe teams, Kerrigan teams, whereas like maybe they start winning a bit, they get up to the top of the mountain, and then we see this really sheer drop off, right? And then everything kind of falls apart and bang, it's gone.
Anybody
we think-
remember Krakow?
Do we think that's happening now?
No.
I'd say no.
So let's use Copenhagen in Blast, a Blast in Copenhagen coming up. Do we expect a bounce back from FaZe where they go to the final, or
I don't know what to expect, to be honest, because any team can play good now in Copenhagen. Anyone, Navi can be good, FaZe can be good.
But
Vitality.
do FaZe need a win to course correct? Because if they don't win or be good,
Well,
do
you
you
know,
think it hurts them?
it's really hard. It's like typical word that to climb on the mountain is easy, and to stay on it, it's much harder.
Yeah.
And like every team adapts to the best team in the world. It's always been like that, and they need time. And also, I think this 7-map rotation is something they thought like we can refresh our game with the new map, and they're trying out new things. And I shouldn't blame them for that, because like when you are getting on the top, you need obviously work and
something
change the
differently,
things, and don't stop working. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
I
making
respect
new
that
things.
too. I actually do respect the fact that they wanted to get ahead of it, and you just like make sure, okay, we're struggling a little bit. Let's just like up our game one more time, and let's try to play some 7 maps. So I like respect the attempt for sure, even if it didn't work.
I like some of the strats that they even had on Vertigo. They had like some really good mid takes and stuff. It's Vertigo's a map I like. I know a lot of people don't, but
I like Vertigo also. And a lot of casters says it's bad map.
I don't
it's
get
very
it.
What
do you feel
boring.
about Ancient?
Ancient is more boring than Vertigo now.
Really?
you know?
Okay.
Because on Ancient, I think you now need to wait all,
It's like
all of time. A lot of
Furia
time.
as well.
Yeah.
If you want to win, of course.
Wait,
on
that
ST.
mid
If you want to win
utility.
rounds ST, you need to wait.
Okay. Let's jump into one of the other teams who copped a bit of a. Unless anyone has anything profound they
I
want to
think
say about
just, like,
FaZe.
just closing out on FaZe, like individually, some of the players didn't. I mean, I think Brokey is the player you have to look at individually in terms of his performance at the major.
yeah.
It's really poor, and they have that like star trio. Twist was really good. I
Yeah.
think you can't say anything about what he did. Rops he put up the numbers. Maybe the impact isn't there as all. It's Rops, right?
Sure.
But Brokey, he was really not. Did not deliver at this event at all, and that for me was also a big issue. Like when you look at the beginning of the year, how he was playing in Katowice, he was the MVP, right? He tried to make some of the same plays here. I feel like he just didn't hit the shots that he needs to hit. Like even some of the easy shot he was missing out. And then if that's your like, I don't know if he's the first, second, or third star of the team, but like one of those core 3 players, and he's not delivering, then you're gonna struggle. And that's it. Like he needed to punish BNE when they were doing some of these pushes. There's that one round at the end in overtime, that the last round actually that they lose, when Twist opens up B, he goes in solo, gets the kill, and now the whole team needs to kind of reconfigure because he did a solo play. and he can hear a player just like rushing underpass. Brokey has the bomb. He's holding for this push with an op.
Misses.
Misses, loses the bomb. Everything falls apart, right? This is like key map control, bomb, everything.
It was key moment for the situation.
Yeah.
Like if you
And
kills
you
they
have
win.
all the info.
But
like,
guys, don't forget Major Jinx. You know, it's not first time the major winning team just goes out on the next major. Envy us,
Yeah.
who they lose to?
us, and and CLG, I think.
Yeah.
maybe.
Fuck, CLG.
Yeah, it happens, but they changed the player at that time at Envy us.
Yeah.
They won major and they took Devil.
Oh, that's right. Oof. Oof. Okay. Yeah, we don't need to go
It's
down that history then.
one of those French moves, man.
Yeah, there's a few of them over the years. Okay.
I think FaZe will bounce back and play on top level. You know,
Yeah.
as like real like top 1, top 2.
I'm not saying this is the end of FaZe. I just think that we're going to move into I think we're in, right, a period of Counter-Strike where you have maybe 6-ish teams who can match up. We spoke about this before we came here.
Yeah.
I was
mean,
very
we've
adamant it was
outlined-
matchup specific.
We've outlined
And
a
they lost
lot
to
of this.
Cloud9. I was right, motherfuckers.
Yeah,
let's
we've
go.
talked a lot about like this not being the major that we can expect anything. to be
Krakow,
honest, and
Krakow vibes.
Krakow vibes for
100%.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, but now no. Now Cloud9 or NAVI win.
Cloud9 Navi is a very
They're
clear
favorites.
storyline
Yeah,
at the
they are.
moment, Yep.
And it's a good storyline if that is the grand final because Cloud9 overcoming Navi in a grand final after being labeled as these like, you know, younger, maybe onliners for a little
Yeah.
bit. Now they've grown, they've got experience, and then they overcome their nemesis of Navi on the other side, who they had that rivalry with in, was it early 2021?
Like throughout
Uh,
2021,
yeah.
basically.
2021,
Yeah.
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 I saw a
for
tweet
the whole
today
year,
about
basically.
stats on the big matches for Shiro and Exile, and they're like we're low, and someone said that they need to step up, and I think they will step up on this tournament because they have the experience of playing in big stages, and they're
Yeah.
not more called onliners or something like that. They won Dallas, and they like gained a lot of confidence on playing on big stages now.
Yeah.
And I think
I feel like until they win the fucking major, their people won't stop calling them onliners.
yeah, I don't know
Like,
why. I don't know why. I think it's one of the most disrespected teams in the history. Like everyone said, like they were lucky it was online era and stuff, but then they came to LAN and showed so many times. Of course, they wasn't matching the results they had before.
Yeah, but very still.
But
they
you should
suck,
But they were still top
Understand.
10 team, like top 8.
they're top 5
consistently,
team.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
Even
top 5 team.
most of the
Yeah.
time.
They're top 5 team 100%.
Yeah.
It's crazy to look at Cloud9 and discredit their victories, even online, when you look at the style of Counter-Strike they play. Like,
Yeah.
if you're going to look for a team that you might want to model your squad off of, you'd probably
It
look
kind
to
of is Cloud9,
Cloud9,
And you
right?
know, also like in CSGO, it's really hard to call someone onliners because like now it's not like in 1.6. It was much more like, you know, people played super good online because they just rush and kill. Now the games are pretty the same. Like there is no, of course, the advantage. You're sitting at home in your pants and like drinking coffee,
Coke Zero.
enjoying like, and then you play in front of crowd. Of course, it's a big difference, but they don't deserve to be called onliners at all.
Yeah.
I also think it's kind of like the first stage was kind of like a trial by fire for them. Obviously, you know, the Imperial game should not have been that close in the first place, but they did pull through. You know, it wasn't that same crumble as
And, you
as
know,
we saw
and now
before.
they feel it. You know, when you're really close to elimination, and then you start winning
Yeah, like we'll
Yeah.
do
hard
it.
matches.
Yeah, just
and
like we'll do it just like against Imperial. You know, we're
Yeah.
gonna come back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just and they feel after every win much more stronger.
Yeah,
Down
there's
coming
definitely an
confident.
aura.
And the
like,
legend stage show that they're like
Yeah.
they're good.
there's definitely an aura around Cloud9
Are we talking
now,
about
it's just like-
Cloud9 now?
Well, we may as well. It's
Yeah.
fine.
No, it was
It's fine.
liquid.
But it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. We can jump back to Liquid and Vitality in a second. That's all good. Like,
Yeah, let's
it
continue.
can stay
I mean, that was
free
also
flowing.
kind of a
Yeah,
shocker
free
of the
flow, free flow.
Yeah, that was also kind of like a shocker of the first stage that they struggled so much, you know, alongside Vitality, and it's only the Legend stage that they, even playing the best teams, they still delivered, and then they stomped Heroic at the end. I think that was a big statement victory.
Yeah.
So there is kind of like an aura around that team now that I feel like they are almost like favorites now. Even with Navi making it through, I feel like Cloud9, because of their form in the Legend stage, they might be just slightly.
They might be
slightly
your
ahead.
favorite.
But still, it's a really hard step to beat Navi in the
I mean,
final of the major.
that's kind of like where I'm thinking
But if
about
it's
it
gonna
too.
be the final, it's gonna be nuts. I think.
Yeah.
And regarding group stage, you know, I was watching Major from Europe, and so the time zone and the match Cloud9 against Greyhound, and I was going to sleep. And anyone will ask me would you bet your house, everything you have on the Cloud9? I would say yes and go to sleep. I wake up like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Without a house.
How it's possible?
Yeah, that was that.
Sorry, no offense to Greyhound.
No, look, I know what it's like. Right?
Aussie,
I know what it's like. Yeah, we got Degster anyway. He made the fucking playoffs, so that's all good.
Yeah, and he like crashed the last map.
Beast mode. It was great. That was sick to watch.
Yeah.
Cloud9 will return to them because we're going to talk about it in the bracket. But let's go into Vitality here, who they won Pro League. They came in here. They made themselves a title contender based off of that victory. Right? We all started to think, okay,
Always dangerous.
yeah. But is that us overrating them prematurely? What do we think was the issues here with Vitality? Because there's the couple of names who, well, one main name that definitely didn't live up to the title would be Spinks, right?
Yep.
He wasn't performing to the level that everybody expected, but I don't think you put it on one player of that
But
team.
he was struggling recently, seriously,
Yep.
on
Yeah.
many matches
Showdown as
before
well.
Major, and before he was really good. I think he's a great player, and he changed a lot when he came to Vitality. You thought like it's the perfect fit for Misuta, and they started playing better. But for me, I don't want to be offensive because like I'm sitting like a cyber tourist. I expected much more from this team, and like looks now a lot of really depends on only on Zyvo. It's and in such structure, in such big organization, we have such big ambitions. You can't rely on only one player.
Mhm.
Now CS, like look at any top team, they have 2-3 top players.
Yeah.
And if you want to compete on the highest level, you want to be at Major, you want to play on the stage, you want to win Major, you need to get better players.
Yeah, and you need to communicate in a common language, guys. Because you know what's
No,
gonna,
it's French and Denmark. I never expected to have this connection.
you know what's gonna happen now, right? I lost. Do you know the bet that I had with Striker?
No,
So I had a bet with Striker and Pimp. And the thing is, this sounds crazy because it is.
of course, as always.
Over
you
5
say.
years, this is the thing. I did a bet over 5 years that no international team would consistently for 6 months be in the top 3 of the world rankings.
Okay.
Right? FaZe, but FaZe I was over
3
2.5,
years.
3 years.
3
I was
years.
3 years into the bet before I lost.
Yeah.
FaZe were the team that broke it. You know what's going to happen now?
No,
We're
no
gonna
one's
have-
gonna happen.
We're going
No
to
one's
have 4 teams at this major who are all going to be CIS. They're probably going to have the semifinals. Probably going to be all CIS teams.
No, maybe. I don't
Maybe,
know.
maybe,
I'm
maybe.
cheering for that.
But let's say that happens.
I don't want to jinx.
Let's say
I don't
that
wanna jinx,
happens,
yeah.
and then let's say at the end of the year they just continue to power forward. Navi wins a couple more. FaZe just bottle it again. The world rankings get skewed. I will have then gone on, and I can almost guarantee it for the next year and a half or 2 years. We'll call it 2 years from that point onwards. That no international team will consistently be in the top 3, and I'll have lost the bet over what a 3-month window.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
Right. I still lost.
Yeah.
But I'll take it as a fucking victory. That money
it
means
was
nothing
really
to
close,
me.
but it's a future, you know. If you look at the teams now at Major, like 6-7 international teams from Europe, teams which have a mononation, like it's just archaism, you
Mononation.
know. It's old.
Yeah.
Now CS is international. It's good. That's what's about CS Global Offensive, you know.
Exactly.
Read the name. So.
We got there eventually, but
Written down.
so what? I agree with the sense it can't just be Zywoo, right? But what type of, because this is one of the older teams, right? Especially with Apex and Dupree. I know that the core is still somewhat young, but what is with all the information that Hooch just put out there about the organization, the expectation, the names in the team? Do we expect that Vitality to make changes, or do you think that they'll go, okay, it's too early in the development, we just brought Spinks?
I know it's really hard because now obviously the results are awful, but even though they're top 1, they wanted to show good results on Major, and now they played really bad. But I don't think they're gonna have changes now.
It'd be too soon, wouldn't
yeah,
it?
too soon because they
Maybe
need
in
time.
the end of the year, but like they only play Blast, right? They only play the global finals. They don't even play Copenhagen. So like, what are you gonna take
think-
away from that?
I think for them the next step is just to try to unlock Spinks and get it back into comfort zones, because I think that just has to be how Vitality turned it around, because they got him in to be their second star after Zywo. That was the entire point, right? But he's clearly not entirely comfortable in everything that he plays, and so I think that's what Vitality will try to do next if they want to do like as drastic of a change as possible. I think they're not going to go beyond that yet until they see that, okay, maybe this edition wasn't the greatest.
They
or,
can keep the
what it is.
trio, right? They can keep the Spinks, Magisk, and Zywoo trio for a long time into the future.
Yeah.
That's
The
a strong
problem
trio.
is, like the Apex thing is like, who do you find if you want a different IGL? That's a super big change.
I
And
don't
then-
think.
And then the other change is like if you want to change the pre, but like that's not I don't think that's where the issue is. Like you can get a better player, but like Spinks was supposed to be better. Like,
I agree
Spinks
with you
was
because it's really hard to say who's a bad guy now.
Yeah.
Whose fault is it?
yeah.
It's really hard.
And
It's
Magic
impossible.
is kind of
You
pretty
can say about
okay.
tactics, you can
But
say
like-
about players. Like there is
Yeah.
no obvious guy who say, yeah, he's bad.
I
Change
feel
him,
like
they're gonna be
all
good.
of them kind of underperformed this event.
Yes.
I will include it, right? Like
Yeah, but still, Zywo,
Zywo, yeah.
in
Yeah,
games,
he-
he did a lot.
yeah, but he didn't like super giga
Yeah,
carry every game because you
the
probably
expectations are here
yeah.
with the Zywo players.
Yeah, but I mean, in Simple Simple did play better, without a doubt. But even he had some like mech maps,
Like,
where
against Big, he
where,
wasn't
where they
super-
needed like
yeah.
a perfecto performance and stuff like that. Perfecto has been pretty good, like the last 3-4 months. Like, he's
Perfecto
been
always good.
fucking.
He's always been good.
Like he's always been good, but now his numbers are also good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like that's the difference.
But you not only watch about numbers,
yeah,
if you understand the game.
I think Perfecto has always been like the support player. Like him
Yeah.
and Inters are like they're doing their job
very
properly.
important players for both teams.
But like when you look at Perfecto stats, they're like 103, 103 rating,
Yeah.
classic consistently.
I
But now
remember
I
the
feel
ma-
like he has
Chris.
really
just
good
remember the
numbers.
match yesterday against BIG. They like down 7-2 or 8-2, and they're doing B exec, and two guys dies, and he jumps out the window, kills one guy,
Yeah,
kills
yeah.
second, third, and then they started taking rounds. So it's important moments. You need to
Yeah.
step up and win a round for your team, and that's what he's doing.
It's also funny because he's been around in this team like for what, like 2 years now.
yeah, but
something
I
like
don't
that.
know. He always was good. I
The
don't know.
thing is, like, I kind of had it in my head, like, as if he's like a developed, finished project. But like, he is a player that's super young that can become much better as
Yeah.
well. It's weird how we think about some players.
When
in
he
these.
joined Navi, I was like expecting another player to join, for example, Yekindar.
Yeah,
But I talked to Amiran and said, Blade
I
said
mean,
that
they were supposed to.
this is a perfect fit.
Yeah.
Perfect fit. Perfect is a perfect fit. And I saw that he played good at Simon and stuff,
Yeah.
but they were all like Chaos. Who else played there? Norbert, Neelan. Yeah, they all played good. But when he came to Navi, it looks like he played 10 years on professional scene.
Hmm.
He
Yeah.
understands how to play on the positions, how to approach positions.
Simple called him a literal genius. I think we investigated that a little bit
Yeah.
more. We found out he's not a literal genius, but he's quite smart. Well,
Yeah.
the IQ test or something along those lines. But yeah, so Vitality, I put them in the same boat as I do with G2, right? I think like good level, like decent team. We just needed more time to see more. And then before we start really like seeing, oh, these guys need to change this or change that, it's too early in development. Like, when have we ever, and this is the conversation we have pretty frequently now, it's like these rosters, they need to be given time to see if they can grow and develop in the system and everything. And this is the thing with the CIS teams, is their system is pretty well understood with everybody in the server. Like, you look at this Outsiders team, Jame and Dustin have been together for what, like 6 years now, something like that. The amount of time that combination have been
Yep.
together. You look at like Blade, and then the fact that he worked with a lot of those names, right? He almost handpicked them. He understands how everything. Cloud9, they came from an academy team, Gambit youngsters with Groove and Finn there, and now they're still together now, and they just really took out Supra for Hobbit. That's the only real big change. Spirit's probably different, but Chopper has been around for a very lengthy period of time, getting a lot of experience. Around him is only Magix, who we remember from the older
Yeah.
team, right? Patsy is a new one. Siren is very, but I'm going on a bit
Also,
more tangents.
academy players.
yeah.
Siren and the Pats academy
There's
players.
a good stat. I think Lucid.
It's like 30% or something, right?
Yeah, put on Twitter, like 30% of the players in the playoffs are from academy teams, which is pretty insane. I see Heku celebrating over there. I managed to not run into the shot. Amazing.
What do we think about NIP? Is it exactly what we expected?
I think it's kind of like we definitely got misled by the RMR.
Who
and
got
just-
misled though?
I didn't
Did
get
you
misled.
get misled?
I mean, dude, we had the power ranking. I think we put them at like 7th or something.
Yeah, I put them
so-
like 8th or something
Yeah, I
because
think I
you
put them
don't
somewhere
know.
there, too.
My
It's really hard to
development for
rate.
them 6 months.
Yeah,
If they can stay together for 6 months, Rez gets an opportunity to actually AWP consistently in top tier Counter-Strike. You shaking your head?
do you believe in that?
I don't believe in it,
Um,
but I want to give him 6 months to see what happens.
I don't understand, to be honest. First of all, Rez should play with rifle.
Yes.
And I like their style before. I think Alexi B is a good AGL, but the style he plays CS is much different from the NAP used to have.
Yep.
And these guys were playing for this style for a long time. So in my opinion, they're just going wrong path.
But NIP's been going on the wrong path ever
for a long
since.
time.
Yeah,
There's been a
because
lot of
like,
plugging
but
holes.
first you can blame them because when you sign a star player and he plays and then he decided not to play for a reason, I don't know which reason. It's very hard because every day you come and like new sniper, new guy on the team. it's hard to adjust. And still, they were playing good
Yeah.
on a top level, not
Yes,
like
that's
0-3.
true. No, they were always
Yeah.
competitive. That's the thing.
Yeah, and now like they tried S-Tac with up, and now it's Rez, in my opinion, whose mechanical skills are one of the best in the world. And I'm not saying that he's not going to be a good opper, but for me it's easier buy an opper. And
Yeah. I
but
mean,
someone will say in Sweden there is no upcoming oppers,
But
but
they
there are
don't have
plenty
to
ones.
have
They
it.
speak English now.
now they speak English. They don't have to be
Yeah,
so
and
locked
also in
into
Europe
Swedish
and
style.
KS, a lot of players who can fill.
Yeah.
Because I don't understand when you have a high ambitions, you have a good organization. You're saying that you can buy device, and then you can buy an opper, and you're making guys riffers and oppers. It's kind of weird to me, you know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
There's a lot of plugging holes.
I don't know if anyone
anyone
looked through the lineup history thing that I tweeted for NIP.
I bet it's
No, I
didn't
wild.
see that.
I bet it's fucking
It
insane.
is.
It was crazy.
Like you just look
seriously.
at
One
lineups
of the
like,
best.
okay, missing an opper, missing an IGL, missing an opper, old team. Like, why is this guy still here? Why was this guy ever here?
Yeah.
This is how you. It's like there's always like 3-4 very good players, and then there's like
It affects really the
yeah.
confidence of the players, like Plopsky and other who are in the team. You know, maybe someone doesn't care. Like today, one guy, tomorrow another. I don't care. I'm
Yeah.
playing someone like.
academy
what to
player,
do.
different academy
Yeah.
player.
It took its
I'm
toll
not
on
saying that bad.
Hampus.
I'm not saying that the academy players were bad, but they're changing.
Yeah.
yeah.
You see, so one guy plays good, bye, something like that.
But you
And they
could-
were top 8 with Linus.
yes.
Yeah.
But you could tell it bothered Hampus, right? Because he took that
Yeah,
break,
yeah, yeah.
right? He was getting burnt out by all of that because for an in-game leader having to constantly sit down with this player and say, hey, we need you to do this. It's like, mate, just fucking get me out of here. This is fucking
And
mental.
still, he was doing really good.
Yep, yep.
And I think like the thought was like that he's a great player. And it would be easier for him not to be an IGL, just to assist. But I see that the structure is different.
Yeah, the approach to
The
the game.
G2 style, like AlexCB had the OG style, and now NIP, and the NIP, old NIP style. For me, it's really different, and it's hard to adapt. You know, when you like in football, I say if you play always in attack, and then someone says that you should play more defensive. It's really hard. It takes time.
Yeah.
And now it's major, so you don't have time to adapt.
Yeah, it felt like a risk coming into this. Okay,
I mean,
let
one good thing I would say is Hampus. I don't know how he played in that last matchup, but from what I saw the first couple of games he played, he still was top ranking for the team. So he was still delivering what we were kind of expecting from him from the RMR. Because
how do
he
we
was
save
obviously
Hampus?
Amazing.
Where do we send him? How do we save Hampus?
The G2.
What
Save
do
I
you
don't know.
Hampus to G2.
I don't know. For me, it's easy. Like buy an opper, make Rez.
Rifler?
Rifler, and then
Rifler.
you have a sick team. You
Look,
have-
Rez was like always good. I don't know.
Yeah.
I am also kind of like between. If you add a new opper, then it probably needs to be like a passive kind of guy because between Rez, Brolin,
And
Hampus,
Yeah, but there is
I feel
different
like-
snipers. Like Wonderful is really passive. Opper.
yeah, you
Something
need to find
there's
like someone that suits because I feel like between these riflers, they all want to do their own thing.
What about device?
I don't want to say, I tweeted it. I said like it makes complete sense. That would be a fucking good team, but there are obviously things that
But
are
who is
not
like aggressive upper now? Like super aggressive. Brock,
Dexter would be one.
Yeah, I
Brocky-
mean Brocky
Acor
is like
Acor maybe, but
Brock
if
is
you look at
mid-round.
other oppers, like Simple, we don't take Simple. Okay, Shiro, James, not super aggressive, but
No.
they can take the picks, but
I mean,
not like
Deco is a pretty balanced opper. I think it's not super passive, not super aggressive.
yeah. But we are talking about major oppers.
yeah.
Yeah, but he's good. He's good. I was playing with him before anyone knew him. Like we went to
but he seems
Moscow
to
local
be
lads.
very
Toxic.
I
Dead
didn't want to say that.
inside. Dead
I actually,
inside.
I
I
don't
actually
know.
didn't want to say toxic. I just want like maybe hard to work with. Like
The forums all say he's toxic.
Yeah, forum says so. Then it's
It has
true.
to be true.
I don't even. I think he's
HLTV
just like.
forum never lies.
I feel like it's also similar to kind of what Dexter is doing. I think he.
No,
it's hard to.
Dexter and Deco.
Yeah, no.
They're
What's different?
I know because first of all, Deco is a little bit younger, and he's just like, I don't. It's not toxic. He's not angry to everyone. Like,
Yeah,
it's just like maybe new generation
has
of the
different
players.
different
you know,
views of
dead
things.
insides. You know,
Dead
I-
inside. Because
knew
they all
where-
watch this anime and they're fucking,
yeah.
I liked his
And-
hair though. It reminded me of Cruella de Vil from
Yeah,
Under the One
yeah.
Dalmatians.
Cruella.
Yeah.
It's
He was
pretty-
Emma Stone.
Emma Stone.
Did you watch
There-
that?
there's a new
I haven't
movie.
seen the new one, mate.
It's
you
a
watch
I'm
it?
talking
Cruella.
about the
It's
cartoon.
actually good.
Yeah?
Is it? I saw it was on my flight. It's probably going to be on the flight.
Watch the
Maybe I
Disney
watch it.
movie on the
Emma
way back.
Stone movies are always she's nice. Like
Yeah.
Okay.
She's
All right.
ridiculous.
All
I
right. All
agree.
right. Fair enough.
La La Land.
IMDb
yeah.
introduction.
I want to start talking about Liquid here, which means Lucas. That should be the code word. Let's see if he gets it ready to go
Yeah.
here. But
Let's let me give Ryan.
Oh yeah,
a
you want
minute.
him to come talk about North American
Yeah,
Counter-Strike?
I need to take a walk.
All right.
Take a
Need to
walk.
take a walk, take a
Sure.
breather. This is getting dangerous right now. All right, Prof's out of here. Ryan's coming in. We're going to start talking about Liquid. Now, I continue to preface all of this while we get Ryan into the seat here. If you didn't catch it, it was Spirit versus Liquid last night in a 2-2 matchup, and it was for a spot in the playoffs. It would have given North America another Legends... it would have given the Americas region another Legends spot during their RMRs. So it was a game with a lot on the line, and a game that definitely hurt the Liquid side of things. But the Counter-Strike in that game, I think everybody at the start of the day on paper had Liquid as the favorites. But in the server, a matchup like that is 50-50. Anyway, hello, Ryan.
Hello, SPUNJ.
You're wearing a Liquid jersey. Do you think it'll be the only one in the arena?
Probably. Actually, no, they have a Liquid booth that's supposed to be in the arena. So,
Okay, so there'll be a few.
So there'll be a few. There
right.
will be a few. Well, maybe Fallen shows up again with it.
How disappointed were you in the loss?
I was crushed.
Was there tears?
A little bit. Got back to the hotel room. Had a few beers. Had a good cry.
Okay.
And we're back at it today.
Yep.
Got to recover. Got to keep moving forward.
Yeah, I think here the fact that Liquid find themselves in this matchup against Spirit, the game, Liquid's still early in their development, right? They're a team that really just hinges on Yukinda, right? Do we think that's too much of an issue? How much of an importance Yukinda is to this team?
Super important.
Yeah, so I was going back through it because I was very interested to see what his stats were in the leading up in the events to this. He was having like a 1.5 in the blast group. He had a 1.18 in the previous two events as well. He has a 1.0 in the major.
Yeah.
Like for a team that brought in this player, has changed around their entire tactics to fit him, to adjust roles, to really reinvent the wheel that was Liquid. For him, unfortunately, to not have the same level of performance that he had in the events prior completely changes the way that this team played. It required other players to step up and put more pressure on them, especially for someone like, let's even take Osi, who's in like probably the second biggest event of his like career. And he's now playing in front of a stage with thousands of screaming fans. He now knows the pressure because Liquid is a top 5 team. They're expected to do it. And that level of expectation is so much more than what he had when he was on the Shocks roster. So I think with that, there was a lot of issues that kind of came up within the team. And Spirit matchup wasn't even favorable towards Liquid at all. They played them apparently a bunch during practice in the boot camps, and I think a vast majority of the time they were just like getting kicked in.
Okay.
So having that final matchup, like it's a scarier to play Spirit as a Liquid team than it was to play Heroic.
Okay. I need to pivot here just for our sponsor obligations here. We have the N1 moment up, which was look, it's obviously crushing. EliGE in these photos that you can see here, just absolutely destroyed. I think at the same time, he stayed and signed a lot of autographs and hung around with the fans.
That's great.
That's
amazing.
The fact that you can be crushed in this environment and then still have the time to give to the fans who are here to see you, and like that right there is a class act from EliGE, right?
That's a true sportsmanship.
Yes,
He's a real professional.
You don't get better than that.
A role model for the future players.
100%, right? Because losing sucks. There's no worse.
Yeah.
Losing feels worse than winning feels good, right? I think that I didn't win a lot in my career.
It's very deep because I understand.
But
I have the same problem.
just to see like EliGE, so cut up about this, and understandably so. We were just talking about Vitality. We're talking about them coming in here and making themselves a bit more of a favorite. Well, Liquid had done the same thing, right? Maybe they weren't like a top 3 favorite, but they were definitely on that fringe of a couple of names who we thought could go deep. I know you, Striker, have had big expectations for this team, and to see them go out like this. They lost to Heroic. They beat NAVI. They beat Sprout. The one that I don't think it comes back to haunt them, but the one that, was the most scary was the 16-2 loss to MOUZ.
Yeah, the start was definitely concerning because they just didn't enter the server.
They weren't
just
there.
Like bad start for sure. But I think, it wasn't just Yukinda who was not putting up the numbers. It was EliGE as well. Like he was just kind of like an average player. It felt like when I was watching him, and even on the Ancient, I think he just didn't really turn up. So it just felt like a couple of off tournaments from the key people, and that's just what's going to happen. You're not going to put up the same results that you had before if you don't have the two best players on your team delivering to the same level.
Yeah.
I don't know what it's down to. I'm sure there's something behind that rather than just both of them like suddenly just having kind of like an off tournament or a couple of off games. Don't know what that is. I have to say I'm not sure, but definitely is. Eventually, it's what was going to cost you the tournament.
Yeah.
But I want to say that like the expectations of the Liquid were quite high after the win against Navi.
Mm.
But then they had 2 matches against Heroic and Spirit, and you like can't say that they fucked up. Like it was not bad matches. Just the opponents played good and they made some mistakes. If we look at the numbers, of course, like Yekindar and EliGE and OC didn't show up so hard, but maybe that's thing that Yekindar could have played better if his teammates would play better.
Yeah.
And also when you rely on only one player, it's really hard. I don't think it's like a disaster for them. After a win against Navi, we expected them to qualify for the playoffs. I was betting them to beat Heroic. But I think it's just unlucky and they need to progress. I mean, I think that OC need more experience to play on the big stage. So yesterday he whiffed some shots and like he need more understanding of the game because his mechanical skills are sick in my opinion. Like I don't know who in NA can be so good as him with up right now. Yes, and I think they just need more time. And I think Yekindar was a key changer after when the shocks was kicked.
Well, this is it, right? Yakinda, as somebody who has been extremely popular in a lot of our discussions here, we love having him on the show, right? He has been a massive talking point in international Counter-Strike over the last couple of years, right? Either in the Outsider / VP or now in Liquid, right? But we like the type of Counter-Strike he plays, but he's still a very young player. He was only under the tutelage of Jamin Dustin for what, like 2 years or something like that? It wasn't a long time.
What is young player now? Young player is wonderful.
17.
No, but not about age. He is young and experience. You can be in life at the same, you know. In 50 years, you can be a bum or like alcoholic and stuff, and you can be good at 30. And 50 years says, you know, I live on this planet 50 years. I'm experienced, and you're not. It's not about that. I think it's about gaining the confidence and talking about Marix. He played on the tier 2 level since the 2017. Then like in EPG Pro 100, and then he joined VP. So it's been 2 years, so like 1 year and a half. Every month a big tournament. So he was ready. He's not young.
Do you put any?
He's not young.
You put any stock in the fact that some of this time that we're talking about was online?
Well,
like a lot of it was online.
2 majors at least already.
Yeah. But like
2 majors when you qualify for the champion stage, when you play on stage, it's already enough. If OC had at least 1 major appearance on the stage, it would be easier for him to play. For any player, you know, because you need to like Cloud9. Are they young?
They're young.
Yeah, but they're super experienced as well already because they played so many tournaments on a big stage.
But you compare that to somebody like Simple, right? Simple has like what, 8 years worth of experience?
Yeah, but Simple came to first land on DreamHack with Hellraisers.
Yeah.
No experience on big stage, and he fucks everyone.
Yeah, exactly. I know that he is the exception to the rule.
Many players like that.
I mean,
I can't name them, but they're
I mean, look at
I know a lot of, but I don't remember.
I mean, one of them would be wonderful, even though this last match against Liquid wasn't super great from him. Those last couple maps, he definitely was a little bit slower. But like he was in that Furia game that they almost won. Like he was great there.
Yeah,
they could have won that.
And also, you know, talking about experience and stuff, Spirit, like Patsy and Siren, they had no experience of playing even international lands with the small stage. They were just like academy players. I knew Patsy, but I never heard about Siren. And then they come and top 4 major.
Yep,
crazy. And they gave us the most entertaining series we had at Antwerp. That
FaZe
versus FURIA game. That was it.
100%.
So, look, we got Ryan here, right? We may as well talk about some more broader North American topics with you here, right? Like, we don't have to settle into anything too crazy, but Liquid are obviously the hope of NA, but for them to actually be a contender, what do you think? Do you like? Because I am strongly in the believer that if you want to be the best Counter-Strike teams in the world, you have to live in Europe. They have a massive facility in the Netherlands.
Yeah.
Do you think this is where some of these players, especially some of them who have been doing this for a long time, have to swallow a bit of that humble pie and go, fuck it, we're going to have to spend as much time as possible in Europe?
So I agree. If you're going to be in Europe, you're going to get the best practice. You're going to be able to do everything and elevate your game. I don't think that they need to live in Europe just because I think they're already spending so much time there. I've looked at their schedule and I've looked at their travel schedule, their boot camp schedule. They get like 1 week off at home every 2 months. Like they are boot camping, they are going traveling, they are doing everything in Europe already. So it's not really a thing of where it's like, what's the extra week going to do? It's their time off anyway. So it's not like, what are they're going to play FPL pugs, and like how much is FPL in Europe like over the course of 1 week going to be really like significantly better than these regulated scrim practices that you're doing 3 times a day, right? It's inconsequential to it. I think the hardest part is that it is the constant travel. It is the being part of the like away and also being behind the meta. NA is just really behind for some reason. We don't have a lot of IGLs that are ahead and working on it. Yakinder came in and was like, you guys are doing everything wrong.
Yep.
What is wrong with you? And it's like, we're changing this, we're changing that, we're doing this. Like he's revolutionizing a system, and he's putting then the trust in Nitro to be the one to call on this adjusted system. So I think the biggest problem that NA has in terms of not developing is that Nitro's the best IGL, and Nitro went off to Valorant for a year, and like no one really filled his spot as like a top IGL. He came back from an entirely different title and was like, I don't want to travel, I don't want to do any of this thing anymore. And he's like, yeah, I'm now still again on the best team from the region. Like that should really be, alarm bells should be sounding off for like, this is a bigger problem.
But these feels were a long time ago. I mean, American scene is struggling for a long time.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
So it's not 1 year; it's more.
I don't think there is a way to fix it.
Yeah, I know, because you need to go to Europe. Of course, it's very hard if you go to another continent to stay without your friends and relatives and stuff. But that's the price you pay to be on the top level. If you want to compete, even if talking about FPL, if you play European FPL or American, it's a difference.
Oh,
And regarding scrims, the same. I read Twitter. Everyone is crying about the schedule. I remember someone from EG said we booked the practice, 8 practice for 2 days. 4 of them were cancelled.
Yeah, for work.
Imagine your team comes from another region to practice, to scream, and you have opportunity, and then you cancel it. And then people say, well, we cancel it because I have another job. Then why are you playing? That's the problem. I think that people are not interested.
I don't think that one's fair to say cancel because they have job
Yeah,
obligations.
but some of the players said that.
Yeah, some of the players
And
have
I think
because
it's
you can't. I think it goes deeper into affordability. Players are younger; they're expected to get jobs. They have school. They have all these obligations and expectations. And sometimes, they can't scrim. I don't like. It's an unfortunate circumstance of the region and of the play.
But I think that people are not so interested in Counter-Strike as they used to be,
No,
because
I
Valorant.
completely disagree with you on that.
Really?
Yes, 100%. I think the interest is still there. I think players still want to be at the top. I just think that there are so many other factors.
Then what's the excuse?
Yeah, what's the excuse then?
Because I come from a region that is much worse off than yours, and I have a player in the playoffs.
And I have 4 teams in playoffs.
But you don't have okay.
Yeah,
sure. I'm not saying that there is a reasonable excuse as to why that we don't have a better evolution of IGLs and we don't have a better evolution of teams. An NA team advanced further than an Australia team. You have an Australian player that is on a European team that's doing it full time and doing it. We have Twist that was on FaZe, one of the best teams in the world. That is part of the international team. If you want to use the degster allegory there, then Twist is my response.
But he didn't make it. We're talking about this event, right? The thing here's the thing.
No, let's talk about overall.
But if you want to talk about the NA region overall and the history of it, you can't look at this major in an isolated bubble of consistency and excellence.
But we can look from what you just said to Hooch about it still being something that people are interested in.
Yeah.
People are clearly more interested in League of Legends and Valorant, and that's fine. If you want to play the Mickey Mouse games, I don't give a fuck. People can make their own choices, right? But I don't love this bullshit that I hear from North America. They're some of the highest paid, best looked after orgs in the entire world.
Yes.
Right? I come from a place where I had to make a sacrifice. I had 2 teammates who studied. I had 3 one of myself, and we work full-time jobs while still playing, going around the world. We should. We'll call it the fucking Mighty Ducks or some shit. But we made the sacrifices and those choices, and it wasn't easy, but it was because we were pursuing our dreams. I think the biggest issue is, in North America, everybody wants to be spoon-fed. When North America had all the teams at the top, the COG, I can fucking name the plethora. These motherfuckers are the reason that the spike in the salaries was so ridiculous.
Yes. Yeah.
It caused an issue, and people in North America, which is fine. I'm okay with this as well. If you just want to get paid, that's fine. I don't have an issue. Play Valorant, play whatever. I don't care. That's up to you. I'm not going to sit here and say that's your problem. But I don't want to sit here and hear that we think that there's just enough or this needs to be changed or that. You have the same opportunities, if not more, than the rest of the world.
I agree.
But nothing manifests.
That's what we say. Like the people are not even trying. In our opinion, we see the American scene. It's rich. You can do anything, but people just not showing up. I don't know, and they don't even want to play.
Look. If
From
we
our
want if we
perspective.
want to talk about Liquid, EG, Complexity, the top 3 teams that are ones that have the most consistent salaries, they're the ones that are the most supported. Absolutely, I would agree with you that their underperformance at the main stage is bad. Complexity not getting to the major was absolutely poor. Should not have happened. They should have been able to make it through. They were 2 up, and they absolutely should have made it. EG as well, only going 1 and 3. I can kind of see how they're more like trying to reinvent the wheel.
Yeah, they're
there,
trying at
but,
least.
they're
but,
trying good.
Yeah,
but
they're trying
like
good.
they
They get it better.
still should have done a little bit better. They should have looked like they had a stronger showing. When you after that, could you name me 2 teams?
Yes.
Yes, ATK, Strife.
Strife is barely the team that they used to
Strife,
Gaming Gladiators,
Nouns,
the
Nouns.
Nouns,
Yeah.
those guys.
I
Nouns.
can't name them, but I would say that yes. We're not talking about now, like the performance of EG and stuff. We're talking overall. That before we had better teams and there were upcoming teams, and now we see.
Oh yeah, before
barely
they sent it in. I fully agree. I think a lot of teams did send it in.
But that's where if we're going to look at root causes, it's those people who took advantage of the situation back then, right, who have caused the issue now. Because if those people took the opportunity seriously like they should have, North America would have a lot more better teams and a lot more of a stronger region. The only reason that North America got strong was because of the place that we're in right now, Brazil, right? The Brazilians came and a couple of Aussies came and we said, we care. And we actually all lifted the level of competition in your country for you. We had to come and do it for you, right? And then, right?
The savior.
Well, okay, so yes, I agree with that. I agree that the diversity of teams and the diversity of regions and growing up in play styles definitely helps. You can also argue that with Europe, that's helpful a lot with the CIS teams. You had a lot of different regions and a lot of different play styles. It's kind of, my argument is it's a little similar to that, right? You have CIS teams. They play a very different style than a lot of Western European teams, the French teams, or the Danish teams, right?
No, I think it's like.
But you get more exposure to different kinds there. I think in NA it became very because it's very.
I have the solution.
Okay.
You're American.
Yes.
You can call Biden at any time, right?
I
That's how
have.
it
You know
works,
what? Oh, I have.
Ryan,
I've begged Joe Biden to get the Bad News Eagles some green cards over there.
Don't worry about stealing from Europe. Let's steal from the rest of the world, all right?
I want.
Well,
please.
the colonialism era, not great for us.
Let's take all of Asia. Let's take Australia. Let's take South America. And let's use the resources that North America has, and let's put everybody there like we had in 2015 and 2016, and let's set up some crazy league. And then you know what we do? This is where Hooch, you and I are on the opposite side, and then now we're friends, is we turn it into the rest of the world against European Counter-Strike. And we uniquely make ourselves better.
I like that.
That's the only way.
Or we could also have Pro League come back.
Yeah, it was important really
I was
because
gonna say,
like
yeah.
people said that if you're not getting a good organization who is on Pro League, it's not point to play Counter-Strike. That's what Fraud said. The world champion in 1.6 was working. So what I say about America, what I think, I remind myself. I heard them many times that people who came from Europe and the people who play in America, they were whining about people not tryharding. You know, if you go on the practice now in Europe or VPL, like the guys will sweat their ass
Even
to beat you on
even in
practice.
premium
In America, they say that guys, let's go 5 short all the way. Let's fucking go.
Listen, the scrim culture and the practice culture is
And it's really important.
horrendous.
And
it
this
is it is holding NA back.
It's
I
where
agree.
it's where it starts. You know,
Yes.
you build your.
I
team
plenty
on the
much have
practice.
gripes. Listen, I had to be defensive on here, and at least in my region. But I agree with you. The practice culture, the FPL culture, everything
and
is
that's,
so
and that's
poor.
why it's weird for us, CIS, Australians, or Asia guys, because they work their ass off to have a chance to represent their teams and countries international area. And seems like American players, not on the top level, don't give a fuck about that. It's just opinion.
No, I
offense.
don't like. I agree with you, and I also instinctively want to say you're wrong. But
Okay,
like,
no problem. No problem.
but yeah, no.
It's what you think.
you can take a horse to water, but you can't make it drink.
And I think that's the biggest problem is that I think there was a lot of exits that happened, and I think a lot of people felt very despondent after, and they didn't see a lot of roots up unless you got picked up by Complexity, unless you got picked up by Liquid or EG or any of the orgs that stayed. The orgs that are back there, they stay in at transient periods of time for like 4 months, 5 months, 6 months. They don't see a root, and I think that they don't have these I don't want to say they don't have the aspirations. They just don't see a way forward sometimes because they do have Brazilian teams come in. They do have these other teams come in. They dominate the second half or the other half of it, and they don't see ways that they can get into the dream hacks or the opens. They see Premier as the only way that they can ever advance, and that was dominated by MIBR. These are dominated by these other regions. So they look at it and they're like, why am I playing? Why do I care? What do I
No, it doesn't work like that.
I know it. No,
if someone comes to our region
like
and start winning, I would like, guys, we need to step up and get them out. We need to win. It's our region.
God, I wish that was
Not like
I
this.
wish that was the
Brazilians
response.
came to our region, guys. I don't want to play anymore. I go well around.
I wish I
sounds silly, bro.
It is, and I wish that was the response. I wish that was the response, but it just that has not manifested.
Someone needs to step up, like, and save the NA. It should be that guy.
You need a leader.
The new program.
You need a leader, right?
You need the leader.
You need a no, but honestly, you need people. The people need to want to change it themselves. And the problem I see as the highlight, if anybody thinks that they should be paid to play Counter-Strike, they're already in the wrong. Nobody should be paid to play Counter-Strike. You, if you earn it and are good enough, will get that. At no point should I give some money to a team who has done fuck all. My team, we had sponsors, but that was to pay for us to go overseas. When I became Renegades, I started getting paid a very, very small salary. It's fucking minute. What I earn now, I earn more in a day and a half now than I did as a player, right? That's how little money I got. But every single day of my life.
Or how much your day rate is.
I don't get paid that much, all right? Next year, I'll ask for a pay raise.
The numbers are really like 10 times, 15 times more now.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Than we used to have. And we didn't cry, like.
But the thing is, the world wants North America to be better at Counter-Strike because it's good for everybody. The key, in my mind. Yes.
I never feel like.
But here's the reason we look at you guys as the enemy, Ryan. I'm sorry, is because
understandable. A lot of historical context there.
No, and it's not even from that standpoint. It's just because the demeanor of Americans to the rest of the world, unfortunately. We look at you as a very entitled place, and we look at North American tourists in everywhere in the world as loud and obnoxious. And
God, trust me, they've let me know.
So the framing
this guy is like the most American person you'll ever meet, man.
But the framing there already, you're off to a bad start. So we don't even look at you on the same. We look at you. This is a compliment.
Okay.
We look at you should be better.
Yes.
That you should be better than us.
I apappreciate that.
Right?
You.
That's a compliment.
I do.
In a weird way, it's a compliment. And when
found a way to talk to the Americans.
and when you're not, we think it's a mentality thing.
It is.
And that solution right there, if it's a mentality thing, then that's a choice because you choose how you want to approach anything in life. You are not being held down or held back by anything at all. So the problem is not with where the leagues are, how much money we're getting paid or anything like that. The problem is with the approach on the day-to-day. And if you need to get a job to be able to live, then you have to get a job to be able to live and prioritize competing. And if you can't do that, that is your choice not to do that. And I'm not hearing from fucking Jason Moses O'Toole the same bullshit anymore either, because it's not woe is me. It's not I traveled too much. It is a pursuit of greatness. You do not become great at anything in the world without sacrifice. And if it is something that you truly want, you will make every sacrifice. Nothing in the world is as important as that goal. And that is the difference.
Amen.
Let's do it.
I could run through a brick wall now for him.
It's fact. It's facts.
Yeah.
You have to sacrifice. If you talk to any player from the CIS teams who are tomorrow playing on stage, everyone sacrificed something. And like in European teams everywhere. So there is no excuses. If you want to compete on higher level, you need to...
It's like me. I want to be fit, but I don't go to the gym. So who do I have to blame? Myself. Right?
Of course.
And I agree with you. And I think the two best cases for what you're saying there are obviously FURIA and the old Bravado. I think those two guys.
Yeah.
I mean,
in recent history,
right? I mean, when you look at JT came all the way from South Africa.
Yeah,
they had to go through
also.
what?
Sonic was good also.
Sonic was good also. He had at least a spot on the MV, and now he's back in South Africa. But you know, those FURIA came in. They were like, we're gonna play advanced. We're leaving everything. We're gonna do it because this is the route that we're gonna do it, and they made it.
They made it, and they missed their friends and relatives.
No, absolutely.
And they were living in a country that don't know anyone.
Yes.
And they don't speak the language.
Barely speak the language.
They barely spoke it when they
now they're playing in front of their crowd.
I agree.
And that's
FURIA,
the price you
FURIA
pay.
should be the test case for, hey, we need to be like, we could do it if we're doing it.
And what about AEG project with the 3 teams, guys? Do you think it's good for
Absolutely,
American?
I think it's the greatest thing that has ever happened to NA.
I
in
don't
the last
know,
few years.
but I think it could be good. I think it could be
I
bad,
think
and it could
I
be
think
good.
the only problem that they can take place in the same tournaments, but at Philadelphia there were two EG teams.
They were
yeah.
two teams, and I will. Do we want to?
No,
No, you guys have already done that. But the
let's
three team,
fucking
I
not
think
get
the
into that.
3-team thing is great because you already have Hex. Hex came in, and because of the Masuta fail transfer, because they were like, oh, I guess we have to go play the EU RMR. But Hex came in, and he's come up into this system. The only reason that I was able to do it was because in March when they played Philadelphia 16, he was like, we're out of a team. We don't know what we're doing. We're trying to field offers. We're figuring it out. EG came in and was like, you're going to be good. We've got you. We're going to give you housing. We're going to give you this. All we need you to do is focus on the Counter-Strike. Next thing you know, Hex is coming in. He's playing the RMR. He's looking like
he's looked
one of-
all right.
he's looked like he could be the next like up there player.
Yeah.
And at the same time, you have veterans like Stanislaw and Rush being like, okay, listen, yeah, I guess I'm not good enough for the main team. Let me go down. They're going down into that more of the development team, and they're working with those players. They're trying to make them better. They're trying to put them into the roles, into the Kjaerbye DM, which is now EG Black. And then you have another player, Wiz, who is he is the next opper. He is like NA's next best opper. He is insane, and he is such a good player. And it's going to be because EG has allowed him to be paid, to be focusing on Counter-Strike, and they all have bought into the project. They all hear from Malik all the time. They all hear from all of the coaches. They are like rigorous into this system. I've tried talking with them, and they are like fully sold and bought in on this project.
I think it can work. Like I have never had a hard stance on this. I have never gone, that's a stupid idea. It's a waste of money. I've never bothered with any of that because I don't know. This could actually be the solution to North America, and I'm glad that somebody is trying something different.
Yeah,
but I don't understand. Their guys are young, right?
Yeah.
And they say that now they have money to play and they can prioritize Counter-Strike, but like a lot of people don't have money and they still play CS.
But they have different
and
they have different expectations in their culture than we do, right? Yeah, the expectation for them is like if you're doing
you need
something
to go to work or either way you are.
and it's seen as a waste of time.
I just said that the living level is much higher.
Yes.
So you can have 1 or 2 or 10 years to play Counter-Strike.
Let's go
But
back,
I guess
let's
I'm
go
wrong.
back to the major.
all right. I have to throw to an ad break anyway. We have to play some
Break?
ads. So
Break?
yeah, it's like
Yeah, good.
60 seconds.
The Xtrfy M42 RGB, what a fun mouse with 5 colorways, lightweight frame at just 59 grams with a swappable backplate to suit your grip style, the sensor, the easy core, the smooth skates, and driverless control for RGB and DPI is why you should check out the M42 RGB down below.
Finally, I found what I was looking for. Now that my search is over, it's gonna be a tough choice. But fortunately, no need to choose. When you can just have them all. Buy and sell skins on Bitskins.com.
N1 Bet. Your bet. Your game.
All right, we're back, and the authorities have come and escorted Ryan out of the building. No, he's still here.
The authority it's Hooch actually.
Yeah.
Hooch and Ryan
they're
went to
fighting
settle
right now.
went to settle the DA.
The irony is
went to the
Ryan going to write
situation
about his own incident? That's the curious part.
I mean, first-hand witness.
Yeah, he can't get the details wrong.
Yeah.
Right? He's going to smash that one.
I mean, he can.
You can lie about them.
He can also just get his head smashed in so hard he doesn't remember.
There you go. We got Hooch back. I think he just ran to the bathroom. It's
Yeah,
all right.
yeah, you
Come
can
on.
go, you can go.
Yeah, you're all good. This isn't it's not a oh. All right. Let's continue trundling forward here. We got MOUZ and fnatic as teams to talk about as labeled overperformers.
We can also talk about, if we want to start with the pick'ems and then talk about the teams that are in the playoffs. Through that, maybe.
Okay. Were there other names that we wanted to discuss here?
I mean, most of them are playoff teams, I think.
Okay.
Like, I mean, we could talk for 5 hours. Like, we could
Sure.
talk about Imperial.
Well, we're doing a show every day, so whatever
Yeah.
we don't get through now, we can do it another day.
Yeah.
Like, but we need to save content for.
Yeah. We need to do
tomorrow.
the pick'ems, though. Pick'ems.
Okay,
needs
all right,
pick'ems.
all right.
We're gonna pick 'ems and just like lightly brush off on the matchups because we're
Yeah.
gonna talk tomorrow. And
Yeah,
then
we're gonna
again
talk
before
about
the
in
quarterfinals,
detail,
So we're
yeah.
gonna be able to like preview the actual matches
Yeah.
like on the days that
Yeah.
that they're actually gonna take place. So
Yeah.
that's why we're not going to go into too
Yeah.
much detail
All right.
into playoffs.
Let's do the pick'ems. Let's do
Yeah.
the pick'ems. I think here we're obviously just filling out a bracket, as everybody can see at home. If you
Yeah.
want to do this on HLTV, you don't actually have to do it in the client. If you don't want HLTV, as we've mentioned several times, there's a little fun feature where you can do it yourself. Now,
Last time we did pick'ems, we won. You remember?
yeah, we smashed it.
I was. I said Navi gonna win, but on all others I made a mistake.
Hey, look,
That's-
it's, as long as you get the
But I
grand
saved the
final right,
pick'ems, guys.
that's
No
all
problem.
that matters. Let's start at the tippy top of this. We'll start with MOUZ versus Cloud9. Now, this one here, I think MOUZ getting through, I think is good for the youngsters to now get a lot of experience. In a pressure match again, they had some individuals step up and some not. That Mirage game against Ents, it was obviously Degster just going ape shit, which was
Yeah,
fantastic.
they were down 7-1. You know.
Yes. That 3K he had on the B side with the lineup on
That
the
also
first, on
shows,
the
you know,
window.
that the guys are capable of strong moments because like they're 7-1 on the elimination match.
Yeah.
And
They
they
had a
step
couple
up.
of comebacks. They started 08
Yeah.
against someone as well. So,
Vitality, no.
yeah, I think so, maybe.
The teams that they beat here, I've got it just here 1 second. MOUZ beat Vitality 19-17. They lost to Big 16-7. They lost to Outsiders 2-0.
Yep.
They beat
Yeah,
Liquid
with
16-2.
Vitality.
That's what happened at least. Because this team here has come from the Challenger stage, right? And
Yeah.
they actually came all the way from the Open Qualifier.
Yes.
So MOUZ have had to run this one an extremely long distance here. And I think that it would be easy for us to say, yeah, this is the end of the line going up against a Cloud9. But is that truly the case? Like, it's the type of Counter-Strike. It's hard to play against Cloud9.
Yes, but they just started. MOUZ Sports is feeling confident from match to match, and like they think like guys who qualified first time for the playoffs. And like I don't think they have a lot of
That's zero
pressure because
pressure, yeah.
already they played really good Counter-Strike,
Yeah.
and top 8 for this young team is really good.
You know what's strange? There's no matchup history between the two. They haven't played each other.
No?
Seriously?
Yeah, they haven't played each other, which I think is very unique situation to find ourselves in a major playoff bracket, that we have two teams going toe-to-toe without any history whatsoever. And I consider Degster, because I've spoken to him about like even just little details, just like Ancient, for example, just like brush off the mark comments about, you know, the necessity for mid-control on that map on the T side. When in the early stages, a lot of teams were just functioning with B lane. They didn't actually realize that you can use that to, well, not they didn't realize, the map was still evolving, right? But
Yeah.
regardless, so those type of conversations, I know that MOUZ, they do have a formula to things, and for them, it's more about can those individuals, because Torji, again, he didn't have a great series, right? And it was the same thing as for them to even get to the major,
Yeah.
right? It was a close game against Sangal.
Sangal.
Right?
And
And
he was
Torji
missing.
didn't have a great series again. And
yeah, they scraped through that one.
yeah, and I think when you have Shiro on the other side of the server, Torji can't be missing with impact. There has to be at least something. Like, I'm not saying Shiro level impact. I'm just saying there has to be. So I'm not putting this down to one player. And because we don't have the head-to-head history, you look at the maps, you're going to get a nuke ban from Cloud9, hopefully, and you're going to get a Dust 2 ban from MOUZ, right? So with the rest of the map pool, Mirage, they both seem pretty comfy on Mirage. Inferno, in the middle of which used to be a weakness for Cloud9. Is it something that MOUZ really want to try and trifle with? Overpass, Cloud9 fucking love that. Vertigo and Ancient. So we get a decent looking map pool here.
Yeah, but MOUZ probably will go with Inferno, Ancient, or Mirage, but probably Inferno or Ancient. And Cloud9 gonna get Vertigo, I think.
Mhm.
And Decider, I don't know. It's gonna be interesting match. Maybe Overpass on the server.
I think like on paper, because of the names, you just say, "Oh, this is a Cloud9 win." But if you actually look at how things have developed
Yeah.
for MOUZ, you have to give him a bit more respect than that.
Of
like,
course.
it should be a game, unless this is a thing. I don't know where Cloud9 is gonna be because they have a break of like how many days now that they
3?
didn't play.
Yeah, they said I talked to Hobby today. He said they're eager to play
Yeah.
because it's
So I
really
don't know
hard.
if they're gonna. Yeah, they were super hot.
And
like
even
that.
if you practice, it doesn't
It's
feel
not
the
the
same.
same. Yeah.
That heroic game, like if they play like that in the playoffs, they're gonna destroy everyone. They're gonna destroy Navi. Like that was ridiculous level of like everything perfect, like wall bang, one tap. Like it was ridiculous. So I don't think they can continue with that. I think that was like a bit insane. But so if they get cooled off a bit and then MOUZ is like playing with no pressure and stuff like that, maybe it can be a game. I'm still taking Cloud9 But I
Yeah,
think
it's
like
Cloud9.
on paper it's like not a discussion, but I think the game is gonna be competitive
So
still.
I think MOUZ can put up a fight for sure. Yeah.
Stylistically, I think it's not a terrible matchup for either team, right? Because MOUZ, they don't play crazy out of the box
they're
Counter
not.
Strike.
No, they're not. I think that, like, especially after they brought in Xtrfy, I think they're a lot more balanced, and they don't have that. Like you were talking about MOUZ like before, that they had like that stupidly boring playstyle.
Yeah.
Now I think they're much more balanced thanks to Xtrfy and thanks to him taking a lot more initiative. I think it's going to be hard for him to break through Cloud9 because they are very good at picking some of these players off, and they're very
Yeah.
experienced at that. So
Especially against Navi, when Navi was playing solo and trying to play super fast, it was easy for Cloud9
Yeah.
to adapt.
So I think it's also going to be harder for him to keep performing to the same level that we have been so far, because that is Xtrfy, I think, will be kind of like the person that I'm going to keep my eye on, because that's not going to be an easy way to do for him to play.
Let's stay with you, Striker. What do you... Shiro's the safety net for Cloud9. We've already seen that. We saw that through the
100%.
challenger stage. Mr. Shiro saved them in a lot of occasions.
Massively consistent too.
Who's the safety net for MOUZ? Is it even developed yet?
I mean, it's kind of
Frozen?
like Frozen has been very, very consistent. Like, he has not had an off game, and he's also carried a couple of them so far. I think the Legend stage he was a little bit slower than challengers, but I think he's kind of like the guy that will always be there, at least from what we've seen since Xtrfy came into this team. I don't think Frozen has had a bad game since. So I think that's the safety net, but the problem is the peaks are very different. Like, if you look at what Shiro's peak is and you look at Frozen's peak, I don't think those two are necessarily comparable whatsoever, you know? So you do need some of these other guys like Xtrfy and like a Torji to have like a good game for them
JDC also.
to be able to, yeah.
He's had some big ball moments, JDC. Like, he'll take some fights, and it's like, oh shit, he shouldn't take
He's
this, and then he gets a
very
kill.
confident player. In like 2 last rounds against Vitality, they go straight to B, and he goes first with no fear and goes out and kills. So
Yeah. I think degster showed, right, because a lot of people just look at degster during MOUZ and they go, oh, he's an in-game leader who's towards the bottom of the scoreboard, right? But degster, when he was on Renegades, I know it's completely different, but he was their best player.
Yeah.
There wasn't even a question who was the best player on that team. It was degster, and he was a fragger. And I remember playing against him in Oz, and this is obviously a long time ago, but he was always really annoying, but always mechanically really good. He reminded me of, I don't want to say a Stanislaw. I feel that's a little bit disrespectful for degster there. But he would always, like, he'd kill you in like the most awkward timings and stuff, and it was frustrating to play against him in Oz. But he's obviously grown a lot since then, and you saw him in that interview with Banks as well. If that's the most emotional he gets, that's a really good in-game leader to have to keep everybody calm, right? He wasn't. Whereas you got Nafany on the other side,
Orcadian.
yeah, who are very emotionally high, whereas degster's level, like, his box is quite small, right? So I think that's a positive. But again, he is only, I tweeted about this, the 4th Australian, and some people got a bit upset I didn't include Gratisfaction. I wasn't trying to disrespect Gratisfaction. It's just, I'm talking about Australians.
He's just not
I didn't want
Australian.
to expand, you know, and it's not that I don't like New Zealanders. It's just in my tweet, it wouldn't have made sense. But degster's only the 4th Australian ever to make it to a playoff stage as a major. So this is a mountain that they've never had to climb before. So that within its...
Hazard and Leo's, right?
Yeah, those are the
There we
three.
go.
So climbing this mountain, it's completely uncharted territory for MOUZ, which makes it very difficult to pick them in this situation. It would, like, I think if we all voted, we're all going for Cloud9, right?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. So,
But it's major, you know, it's full of surprises.
exactly.
But still, I think it's going to be a nice
Major is
match.
dark and full of surprises.
But I think Cloud9 is clear favorite here.
But does that embolden MOUZ at all? Do they now
I think
go
they don't
in?
give a fuck at this point. Like, that's kind of like where I feel like they could at least like take a map, just like have a good start, and Cloud9 maybe start a little bit slow. I can see that happening.
Yeah, and maybe it would work against team that is not so confident, like Cloud9, which got like 3-2 or something like that. But Cloud9, they don't care, like that. MOUZ Sports will not care, you know. They have a goal and they're aiming for the final. So
I think something that will be on display in this matchup here, right? Obviously, we can talk about the pressure and the ones the things that are hard to quantify. But the hardest thing to quantify is, does degster and Cyclone, as the brain trust of the team, have a solution for the Cloud9 puzzle, right? Because we don't know. If they've never played, if they've never had the head-to-head, that in itself is a complete unknown. So that's a curious thing. What do they think about how to beat
but
Cloud9?
it's only one side of the problem.
True.
Because even they have the perfect game plan and they won veto and they understand everything and know how the players play. Players need to
Play,
you know. Your captain obvious. Yeah, obviously it's really important because some of the players of the Cloud9 are like stone cold and they're so confident, and it will be hard for MOUZ Sports, you know. Because Shiro right now, I don't know, he's in crazy form. It's super crazy. For
This for Shiro is the launch pad for him becoming an absolute titan of the game.
Yeah.
Right? If Cloud9 make it to the final, if Cloud9 win and Shiro gets like MVP or something fucking mental, which is in the realms of possibility here,
Yeah.
that is the kickstart into the big boy leagues for Shiro, right? And it's not that they haven't been here. We've discussed this team of being consistent and strong and everything about that, but that's where Shiro changes from this kid that gets spoken about and he's pretty good and has some clutches to Shiro, one of the absolute best in the world.
Yeah.
For me, he's already one of the best of the world.
For
And I
you.
think no, not for me. Listen, look at the numbers. Look at how
I mean,
he
he was
plays.
number 4 last year. Right?
I
No,
don't,
I'm
I
just
don't
saying,
look
like,
at the numbers.
I'm
Look
just
how
saying,
he
We're
plays.
look at-
talking the general
Look
fan.
Vertigo
yeah.
against Imperial.
But you
general
are
fan.
a smart guy. You're a smart guy.
Kind of, maybe. I hope so. I
yeah,
don't know.
I think so.
Thank you.
But compare that. We're talking about like
Yeah.
the general public. Me and SPUNJ here. Like the general
Yeah.
public thinks Shiro is a very
And
good
then
player.
to go back to
and
the
that's it.
thing that they're the most disrespectful
Disrespect.
team in the
Disrespected team,
world.
yeah, most disrespected.
But this is the thing. It doesn't. We can do our job as pundits or analysts or casters or experts or whatever you want to call us, and we can
Or
say whatever
tourists.
or tourists. We can say whatever we want to say, right? And we can present whatever we want to present. But we have less influence on the general populace than the players in the server and the way that they carry themselves and their results.
Yeah.
That speaks louder than
True.
anything. And making a play on a stage in a semi-final or a grand final that makes everybody question what they thought was possible about Counter-Strike will shift the mentality more than anything else in the world. So that right there is the opportunity for the big ball Shiro, who's had 4 teams in a fucking backpack in the challenger stage saying, do you boys not want to win? And just fucking slapping people away on Vertigo with shit that we haven't seen before. He does that on the stage against a big fucking team and bang, he is now on the posters. He is now the fucking face. And he gets that
And
opportunity.
he deserves it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but he has got to show it.
Yes, and he will.
And that's what I want to see because I'm fucking getting excited right now, and we've still got a couple of days till they even play. So,
I got goosebumps right now.
okay, let's put Cloud9. Let's
Yeah,
go
we
to
got
the opposite end of the bracket, shall we?
Okay.
Okay.
Furia Navi.
Furia Navi. The intangible of all of this is
Crowd
the
buff.
crowd. Now, Simple tweeted asking not to be booed. They're going to boo the fuck out of them. That's just what
No,
we've
I don't
noticed.
think so.
You don't think so?
He's going to be respectful.
Okay.
I think so. I think so.
He gonna be booed.
Yeah.
The team's
if,
going to
if
be
he
booed.
do something,
Maybe
like,
not-
I don't think.
Maybe not boo,
Guys,
but
I
like,
saw this. Like I said, FaZe Cloud9 playing Simple enters area, everyone like this. Simple. Not even watching much. So I think he's very popular. But
I don't think he
Brazil-
will be
in Brazil,
booed necessarily,
support
but,
their.
but they're gonna support Furia by
Yes,
hard, and
I
they're
think
gonna
they will
make
just
fun
support
of
Furia,
Navi.
maybe a little bit boo.
Yeah.
I don't know, but it's gonna be crazy.
I think this crowd will do whatever they can to pump
Help
Furia
Furia
up.
up, yeah.
Right. And do I think that's enough to beat Navi?
No.
No, I don't. I don't think it's enough to beat Navi.
No.
But the way that Kjaerbye and Yuri have been playing, those two are living up to the high expectations that we've given them.
Cerato.
Fucking beasts. Absolute monsters.
But one question: which team they played before? Did they?
Yeah, okay. All right,
They
all
didn't
right,
play the
all
best.
right, all
That's
right.
that's kind of like where I'm also
I am
very
fan of
respect-
Cerato. Really big. Sorry.
No, it's okay. That's where my concerns come in for Furia because they haven't been tested.
It's true.
Like the only time they've really been tested was like the time that Big came back against them on Vertigo, and Spirit that they came back against Spirits. Was it Vertigo?
Yeah,
as well?
they,
I think
that
it
was
Mirage,
Mirage.
Mirage,
Oh, that was
Mirage.
Mirage, okay.
13-8 or
Yeah,
11-4
13-7, I
first
think, or
half.
something like that even.
Yeah.
And so like those are the only two teams that have really tested Furia, and if those are the only two teams that have tested Furia so far, then you know what happens when they go up against a fucking giant like a Navi or a Cloud9. You know, I feel like it could very quickly spiral out of control for Furia, and just like they get blown out of the water because they haven't been in that position where they've been tested by a team that really knows what they're doing
No, I
and
agree.
is one of the best ones. So I think there's a lot of potential for this to be a quiet crowd.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Navi like Cloud9, you know, they started slow and now they're like locomotive. They getting harder and then playoff. They come, they see, okay, crowd, a lot of people seen there, been there. So
Yeah.
let's go.
For SDY though, this is the deepest he's ever gone in a major, right?
Yes, I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
it's
He's
first.
never been- he's never been
Yeah,
playoffs.
it's really hard for him because a lot of expectations rely on
But he
him
played
and-
great. But he's played pretty great. I
But
think.
he always seems to do what is required of him in a moment. But
Yeah.
he's not the guy that I'm expecting to
No,
change
he's
the
not
tide
gonna
of the
be the
game,
change-
and he
game
shouldn't be
changer.
expected to be that. But when you have, is Bit? What are we saying about Bit? What like this is one
Beat is obviously underperforming if we compare it to his old level, and like I think the team expects him to play better. But I think he just had a slow start, and he will show up later. Because even though he's young, he's a major champion, he's a major finalist, and maybe something went wrong recently, but now he's gonna be better. But of course, if Navi wants to win the major, everyone need to step up, including SDI and Beat and every player on the team.
But at the same time, like if you have Perfecto performing to this level, like do you really need bids to be the bid that we saw last
win,
year?
To win, yes.
To win the whole tournament,
win, yes.
maybe. Yeah.
To beat Furia, no.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm coming from too. Like
I
think Simple's also kind of like still has yet to hit the DD peak. I think especially towards the end against Big, he wasn't necessarily a big game changer.
He's pacing himself.
Yeah, he still has yet to show like his true form. So I think that's also something that I'm fully expecting to happen in the playoffs. So that's also something that I see potential for more from Navi already. While in Furia we've seen what they can do, but we haven't seen them against the best teams. So like I'm not so super sold.
But you can only play who's in front of you. That
of
old
course,
adage, right? As well. So we don't have a yardstick to measure Furia by accurately.
Yeah.
But we also have to measure them by a different yardstick than everybody else, because that support was clearly a positive factor for them in the arena, right? It willed them back into games where it felt like they were having a hard time. So you have to keep that in mind here. That then
he bacteria.
Well, we were probably going to go with Navi here, but it wasn't me. That was Lucas. Don't worry. But we have to acknowledge, and what this changes in the server, we will only know once the game is live.
Yeah.
But my understanding is that the way I don't understand. We'll never understand, right? But
my understanding, they don't understand.
My understanding is that they're playing for more than just themselves.
Yes, and it's really interesting case, because I think we had something like that in Denmark on the arena when the people support, but now it's different thing, you know. And for this, like for Brazilian, I think it means really a lot that 18,000 people will come, but also it can be a negative effect, because when I started watching Major, I saw 0-0 Nation, everyone, a lot of guys put them on PKM to qualify. Someone went 3-0, but I saw that they're really nervous because their friends, their families came to, and the ambitions are really high, expectations really high, and then the game starts, and then against guys who don't give a fuck. So it's really, it was hard for him. And now, and FURIA adapted to that. FURIA embraced it and enjoyed it. Like, but now it's, you know, it's a quarterfinal. The expectations are high, and they're playing against a good team. And I don't want to offend FURIA or Brazil fans, but it can happen like on a World Cup, you know.
I mean, that's a kind of a narrative that's been talked about a bit. Like they never won things in Brazil. Like the Brazilian national teams have always kind of crumbled under that pressure.
And that final where Avangard played against FURIA as well, they lost.
Yeah.
So the expectations are really high, and it will be hard for them. I don't know, but I think that the stadium will push them forward anyways. I hope it's going to be a 3 maps, but for me, Navi is a clear favorite here, and I will take it 2-0.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to be a little bit more romantic about it. I was in the shuttle with Maniac earlier today, so you can understand why.
It rubs off.
I think that the map pool scares me a bit, because where are you going to... I think you have to pivot as Furia into something like an Ancient and hope. Right? And really hope.
No, it will be a mistake if FURIA pick Ancient.
Well, what do they pick? Because Mirage...
Inferno.
Okay.
Inferno or Mirage.
But I don't...
Yeah, Mirage, they won't pick Mirage because... No, they won't pick Mirage because they... And they won't pick Nuke.
But I don't...
It's a really hard matchup towards them. Vertigo is one of the best maps of FURIA. They're not gonna play it, and they can... Like, they often pick Nuke, but now it's Navi. On map pool, it's very hard for FURIA.
They're already in the bin before they get started. That's why I said something like Ancient.
But it doesn't make any sense, because when the game starts, everything... It doesn't matter anymore. Sometimes, you know, when I was coaching, we had a veto, and I look at the maps and like, it's 2-0 for us. And then we lose 2-0. And sometimes you look at the veto or very bad veto and you win. So the moment match starts, it doesn't matter anymore. But I think it's going to be a tough challenge for FURIA.
Yeah.
But I hope for a great Counter-Strike.
Yeah.
If we get 3 maps, I'll be happy with that. All right, let's leave Navi there. Let's go back to the top side of the bracket. Now, this one we already had as a challenger stage matchup. Outsiders taking on Fnatic. It was a 16-1 on Fnatic's pick of Overpass, and then they moved into Mirage. And this is another series where the veto, there's no wiggle room for either team. They share a lot of common maps here, and I think that it is a hard game for Fnatic to win. I think already having lost that series.
I don't even see where they can get an edge. Like, what is there? You know, when before the major we were talking about like holes for phases. You know, kind of trying to find them. Like on the opping side, James is better than Nikodos in my opinion. Like more experienced IGL, just more experience on the stage. Their playstyle is just so annoying to play against. I feel like Fnatic is going to struggle with that as well because they have a couple of aggressive players and they're just going to wait them out and
But on other side, Fame and Norbert never played on such a big stage.
Okay.
That's true. Also, but they're playing really good. Fame, like, is one of the best players on the team right now. And there were some matches.
Fasher and Mezzi, same thing.
Yeah, and Fasher and Mezzi. First of all, I want to say that Fnatic is an example of good transfer politics. You know, they choose right players at the right moment.
I need to be clear here. They chose the right players because we lit them the fuck up. Oh, I don't know if that's the case, but we'll take responsibility for it. At the start of the year when they had that team, mate,
you beat them on Scream or what?
I fuck it. No. I was publicly very upset about their team. And then we had Khan come on the show.
But look, they took 2 players from Copenhagen Flames for a really cheap money, I think.
And everyone knows this.
These players are great, and also a very risky move because a lot of people have the thing that if the player is above 22 or 23 already, he considered old. But they took Fasher, who never played on the super level, and this guy performed really good on Ecstatic. He kicked our ass in the Tropic many times, like good clutches. And I say he's really good mechanically. And they were not afraid to take old player. So they have at least 2 old players in the team. And also, guys, they have 2 players on the team that goes who walk with MOUZ too. And one of them has invert MOUZ.
Oh yeah. Fasher and Mezzi, they both have really ridiculous
That's the cons
setups.
for the Fnatic.
This is like
but
peak
Moneyball.
Peak Moneyball.
Peak Moneyball.
Yes. It's like what the. I kick this guy just because he's walking on MOUZ too. This is classic.
He's 26. He walks on MOUZ too and has invert MOUZ.
I mean, Roy is also an older guy. Crims is older, so Nico is like 24. So like for a breakout player, he's old, right?
And that's I really like about that. You know, like in football, sometimes the guy can play for 25 for some mediocre teams, and then he shows up in some team and show that he's really good. And I'm really happy that such players have a opportunity to show themselves, and the organizations are not afraid because, like, yes, of course, 30 years is really old, but at 25, 26, if you didn't pick before, you can pick later. So, guys, if you're playing Counter-Strike and you're almost 30, continue.
Yeah, look, I think that the Fnatic run as well. Samuelson put something out on Twitter, right, about the teams that they had to beat.
The challenger stage, they had the toughest run, theoretically.
So they've had a lot of practice here in an environment that's a pretty fun environment, right?
So just to list those teams, right? It's Cloud9 into OG into MOUZ into Outsiders. Those were the first 4 matches they played.
Okay.
So it's literally 3 playoffs teams and OG who like we thought were at least pretty decent, right?
Yeah, OG are good.
Definitely could have made the next stage.
100%. Yeah. Definitely so. So I think
and since then, by the way, the last 4 have been NIP. They played 9Z in the meantime. That was the first match. Then NIP, Heroic, and Big.
Okay.
So not also good.
Yeah, it got a little bit easier for them, right? But still, they got a lot of reps in here, right? So I think Fnatic are not going to do as poorly as they did on Overpass again, and I don't even know if they're not going to pick Overpass
again. They're not going to try that again, I think,
So, definitely Outsiders showed their Overpass is good at this event.
Yes.
Like it was sus before this event, and now they played like 5 times. I think won most of them.
Yeah, Heroic is the only team that beat them on it, I think.
So definitely not something people can target.
But this is one of the closer matchups, and because of that factor, right? Outsiders here, they are head-to-head favorites, recency bias favorites, right? Which is probably fair.
Yeah.
But with all of the things we've mentioned, it's actually quite comparable, right? You brought up Fame and Norbert. You mentioned Mezzi and Fasher. You compare those. In terms of the age factor, maybe handling a pressure environment you could argue for somebody who's older and just a bit more experienced in life, but then at the same time, I don't know how anybody.
Fact, because like Kicker maybe is not so old like as Fasher, but they played or James, they played so many tournaments, and they're and this team particularly, they're when Fame and Norbert joined, they started screaming sometimes, but before they were like, GG.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Dota players.
So
I think Outsiders is much more experienced if like we take player by player.
yeah, well, the only one that beats them all,
Creams.
he beats everybody in the entire server combined.
Yeah.
Right? I'm almost 100% positive that would be true.
Yes.
Crims has played in like the playoffs of what, like
Of the first
13?
something like that. 12,
Something
12 majors or
ridiculous.
something
14
crazy.
Not the first
for LGB first
Yeah,
playoff.
yeah.
First one?
Yeah, he played.
Yeah.
he
Fourth-
was
14
the-
or 15, first LGB performance. with the, like,
him, Olaf, and somebody else were
Danish.
like the
Side
ultimate legends
twist.
until like
Yep.
Yeah.
So Crims has so much experience here, but is that enough to make up for it against the other side? And I don't know. This matchup for me, I think it's like a 45-55 in favor of Outsiders. And you're shaking your head. I know what but you're biased right here. So
yeah, I think we shouldn't sleep on first match because they beat at 61 and then Mirage was pretty close, but I think that Fnatic have chances in this match, like 60-40, I think.
I'd go for a 60-40.
in favor of Outsiders.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so only 5% different. What do you think?
But
Yeah.
it matters, 5%.
It's a big
is-
5%.
Yeah.
It's actually 10.
Yeah.
It's 5 on two sides.
Yeah, all right, fine. What do you think?
I'm still kind of like on the fence, but I feel like I think the matchup, but like the stylistic clash is what's gonna make this match, and I think that goes with the way of Outsiders for sure.
Okay.
Because I think they're just like I don't think Fnatic are comfortable playing against that,
Okay.
so I think Outsiders, yeah.
But we're gonna, and I think the thing is as well, like Fnatic, we were discussing in the lead up to this event. They're a team who I rated. I think I was pretty. I don't know. You guys
About
can correct.
Fnatic or who
Well,
are you
both
talking
of them.
about?
I actually think
Okay,
both
okay,
teams.
yeah.
Like, but like I'm not surprised to see, considering who Fnatic beating Big to get to this point. Okay, maybe you can argue that
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
That you can make any argument. They're here. It doesn't matter. They're a team who I definitely thought had a lot of firepower. That Slanka discussed a lot. The biggest question mark was Mezzi in-game leading, and now he's going to have to do it on a stage against James, who is more than comfortable doing it, as we've seen him once upon a time get to the semifinal. Get to the grand finals of a major. Semifinals was where he beat my boys. Yeah, this is the thing. The experience factor, you have to favor Outsiders. The playstyle factor of them playing slower, and they definitely have mixed up their playstyle more. But do we think that stage matches not force teams, but allow teams to play more snowbally Counter-Strike than traditionally?
No, I don't think so, because they will stick for their style. And
But against them, do you think that could be do you think it's easier to snowball against somebody on stage?
depends on the team, because it's about how you react to what's going on. If you are getting nervous and not confident, you will get snowballed.
Just a question. How much do we need time for until Guerri? He's just messaging him now.
Yeah, how much time, guys?
Or can we finish in 5
You wanna
minutes?
yeah, 5 minutes
Yeah,
good.
yeah, I remember we had, like,
Finishing?
just one other match.
Well, we're bringing in two Brazilians.
Oh, okay, yeah.
We're gonna have a bit of a chit chat about Brazilian Counter-Strike.
Yeah,
and
they
stuff.
should be free Guerri, free Apoka.
Yeah,
There
It's
you go.
not right. This
Yeah.
is so stupid.
yeah.
Actually, this system, like, we're sitting here on Major and stuff, but meanwhile we have some stupid bans where people can't even be on the backstage when they did some little minority penalty or something like that. It's so fucking stupid. I don't know. It's frustrating.
Well, if
Yeah.
Valve are here, I think that's probably something that we should try and have a conversation with them over the course of the weekend. I don't know if they are here. I guess we'll
No
find
idea.
out
Are
at some
ESIC
point.
here?
Huh?
ESIC.
I don't know.
Yeah. Do you think,
We don't have to worry about them if we just go to look. You don't have to talk to
Straight
mom
to
if
the
you go
source.
straight to dad. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It depends
yeah.
on your household.
But
Kinda
what?
depends
on your household.
What if they don't care?
Well, that could be it. See, in my household, actually,
That
I
was
think
in my house.
if I went to mum instead of dad, that was probably the better way to go.
Yeah,
Mum
yeah.
over, yeah. So yeah, I got that backwards from my experience, but some people like calling others daddy. Now let's finish off this before they get here. We picked
That's Lucas
Outsiders. The
over there.
last one, Spirit versus Heroic. Are we going to have at least one European team
I
that's
mean,
not from
I
the
feel like
CIS?
this
I think Heroic is a fairly big favorite in this, I would say,
Okay.
because I think even if they didn't necessarily put up the same same fight when they were playing against Cloud9, I think the last series that they played against
It was clinical. It was absolutely
But
clinical.
who do they play?
Liquid.
There we go.
It was
Yeah,
fucking
there we
on
go.
Vertigo
Yeah.
was a clinic, man. I haven't seen anything like
that
that.
got me back on the Heroic train, because I was very concerned with how they performed against Cloud9, but it does seem like they were just an off game and that's not
It
the
was an
Heroic that
on
we
game
saw.
for Cloud9 as well.
Yeah. And so like I am sold on Heroic being the pretty big favorite here.
We have head-to-head from Antwerp, so rosters were different, right? Degster, the absolute monster, was in the server, but they now... oh, actually, this is crazy. How did this go this way? It was 16-12 in favor of Spirit, but across the board... Oh, I guess I'd have to look at this a little bit more. Regardless, forget about it.
Interesting thing that's going to come out in my Magic's interview, which I did last night, and when I talked to him, I don't know how much he talked about it on the desk. I don't know if anybody was following that interview, because he also did one just before.
Where he kicked the chairs?
That's a throwback to Clone.
No, he kicked the chair again.
Oh, he did?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. But anyway, did you follow that's interview?
The desk
or not?
interview? No.
Okay,
no.
fair enough. But I'll just talk about what he told me, because he said that Heroic were the team that they stole the most from when this team came together, when they got Siren and Patsy.
Okay.
And that like Heroic were a massive inspiration for them, and in terms of CT side, and then Katie and his Chopper's favorite IGL. So
Wow.
This creates an interesting dynamic into this match. Clearly, like Spirits have a lot of
respect,
knowledge, and just inspiration from Heroic.
I like this
I can
a lot.
back this up as well, because I did a little interview today with Siren and Patsy on one side and Kadian and Shush on the other. And I was like talking to Shush and Siren. I said, you guys are both like anchors, you play similar roles. I was like, Shush, you watch many Siren demos? He was like, no, I haven't, but I need new things. Maybe I should. And on the other side, Siren was like, yeah, I watched a lot. And then Maniac was like, oh, anything you can tell us? He's like, I don't want to give it away. And then I asked I asked to the Spirit guys, I said, I was trying to make them be nice and mean. So I was doing the nice bit first. I said, what do you think is Heroic's biggest strength? And Siren said, they're the smartest team.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they didn't say, neither of them said what the biggest weakness were on either side. No. So that was a bit unfortunate.
Magic's was mainly talking about their approach to the CT side, and that they're just not sitting and waiting for things to happen.
Sure,
and
being
they take a lot of
proactive or reactive.
And very
radioactive.
Very radioactive. And
Also,
that's just been a big inspiration to Spirit. So that cool little storyline going into this.
What do you think about yesterday interview of Magic when he said that we made the Brazilian crowd silent today, and we're gonna make it on the stadium?
I like it. They're already the villains, right?
Yeah.
Yes, and like the funny story, because the manager of the psychologist guy for Spirit, he intended to like cheer the crowd, and then when I watched the video, I was like, no, it's not about like cheering. They saw it in the bad way, and now like they absorb it, and they like now like playing with the crowd like a bad guys. And yesterday when I saw a body interview Magic's, he was like so confident. We made them silent today, we're gonna make him silent tomorrow. And you know the big fan base of Heroic, so Heroic have playing at home, so it's going to be also interesting. But seems like Spirit doesn't give a fuck. They're like, so
I think that's kind of like the X factor of Spirit. They just have this aura around them that they just don't care, don't give a shit. And also like it's not like
Patsy in Antwerp and like their whole like run in Antwerp when no one gave a fuck about them. Yeah, and then they played against FaZe and kind of fucked around. And,
it doesn't. That's crazy because they're the youngest team or the second youngest team, something like that. At the Major,
Sprout and them, I think.
I think Sprout was the second youngest, and they were the youngest, or the other way. I'm not sure, but they were definitely.
They have 2 19-year-olds.
They were 21 points. It
Patsy
was like
young,
21.3 and
Wonderful young,
21.6.
Siren young,
Yeah,
and Magic's is young.
Yeah, just Chopper is like.
No,
and he's only
they're
25.
like 20. They're like 21-ish.
Okay.
Like on average. So like that's kind of like the crazy factor about them.
But I feel we have to put Heroic here over Spirit still.
Yeah. They are the favorites for sure.
Right.
I think that could be closer than people expect. Though, maybe.
Do you have a rebuttal here, Hooch, on behalf of your people?
I will cheer for them, of course, but I think that Heroic is a stronger team right now, and like I think they're just better. But I hope Spirit will show a good Counter-Strike.
Do you know what, with Heroic, if I remember rightly, they lost to G2 in Stockholm in the semis, and they lost to Navi in the quarters.
Yeah.
So eventual finalists. I know it's different with Stockholm because it was a fucking semi-final, so of course, but if they go through and then they lose to Navi again, right? Maybe they can get flipped because Heroic have only lost to the runners-up. They haven't lost to the winner in those runs.
Yeah.
So, right, this for them is a chance. Right? That Navi game. Remember Heroic? Like a year ago, they were like, yeah, we're one of the teams who we think we can beat Navi.
Yeah, we match up against Navi.
That would be a pretty interesting second match. Look, we've got Guerri and Apoka here in a second. So let's just quickly smash through this. Cloud9 outsiders.
Cloud9.
Cloud9.
All right. Heroic, Navi.
Navi. We just have to.
Now the grand
and
final.
then this has to be a Navi win in the grand final. I feel like still, but it would be insane.
Well, Hooch got it right last time.
What do you say?
It's very hard because I have friends in both teams, and when I choose one,
No,
someone will
put
be
him,
mad
put him
at
on the
me.
spot. Put him on. Zoom in on his face right now.
You got to pick. We'll put it
Full
on you.
screen
Um,
into the camera over there.
it's very hard. I think Navi.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
we'll have more shows, so I'll
Yeah.
We'll have a
I'll
chance
be
to talk about it.
I'm leaving myself open to change my mind.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna do predictions every
But
day before we get into
It's
the
very
games.
hard. It's very hard. I don't know. Inside me fighting two persons.
Your car, yeah, hard to split.
One says like Cloud9, and one says
Yeah.
Navi. But I don't
I'd
know because
almost- yeah.
I like them both, and I will be happy that these two great teams will clash in the final, and it's gonna be amazing because Cloud9 deserves it.
Yeah.
The team, and Navi wants to win second title, so it's gonna be nuts. I hope
That's
so.
where I said at the moment. I'm like, I almost want Cloud9 to win that, but I feel like it's gonna be Navi because it's like Cloud9 have just this amazing story behind them at the moment.
Yeah.
At the major, just the way that they've gone through the challenger stage and then ramping up. I think like their trajectory at this tournament tells me major winners. Like that's just like the vibe I'm getting from it.
Okay.
Navi are still shaky. You know, they haven't necessarily shown their best form so far. Well, we've already seen it
Yeah,
from
but if they
Cloud9.
get to
But
the
they're
grand
going for it.
final,
Yeah,
then,
but that's where
Yeah,
exactly
yeah.
that's where I'm setting to. Like, if we see Navi reach that far, I think they will be the favorites
Yeah.
just based on their experience and that they've done it before.
but
They
then
know how to
then
win.
imagine how much greater it would be for Cloud9 to win
Exactly.
against
Yeah, I
them.
mean,
That would
it's
be
an
a
amazing. It would be an amazing
That's
storyline
huge
for
story.
sure. Yeah,
And
I
one
would
for
love
the
that.
future. All right. So we're going to jump into the next portion of the show here. I need to run to the bathroom. So we're going to get Guerri and Apoka in
Can
here.
I
Can
have
you
a
two...
word?
Yeah,
Can I have a word?
of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to say something to the audience.
Yeah?
Okay.
Because I've been quite silent for a long time, and I want to say that I was born in Russia, but I was always strongly connected to Ukraine, and it breaks my heart what's going on with the situation with this fucking war, and I feel really sorry for my friends and for the whole situation, and I just want to say fuck war, and that's it.
Okay. Thank you, Hooch. Appreciate your time.
Yeah.
Appreciate your
Thank you,
words.
guys.
And yeah, I'm going to get up as well. Are you two happy to start this off?
Okay, we can do
I'm
that.
going to run to the bathroom and then
Okay.
you can...
Okay.
Right. Lucas, I'll be right back.
Leaving
Should we,
us.
get them, should we move around or what's
Maybe just have them sit
okay,
on the
we
sides.
can,
Yeah,
we can just have
that's
them sit
fine. Come in. Just
go.
just watch out on the cables, and that's. There we go. Hello. Sit down.
over
Sit down. How you doing? Headsets on, and
Headsets.
that's it. Nothing special.
Oh, yeah.
How?
Hello.
Hello, guys.
Hello, hello, hello. Welcome.
Thanks.
Welcome to HLTV Confirmed. How are you
Thanks. Yeah, really good. Yeah, really good.
Good, thank you. First major in Brazil, so really good.
Yeah.
Let's start with that because it's there's been talk. I think there was also the ESL video about like, where do we need to have a major, and then Steel and all of these players talking about the major in Brazil, how it's gonna be awesome. I think even were your expectations surpassed as much as like everyone's else.
Yes, first of all, thank you. I'm sorry about my English for English fans. If you guys feel free to translate me,
And help us a little bit.
I'm
You guys
sorry.
are okay.
But yes, it's so amazing. I posted on my Twitter today that ESL and everyone, I don't know, Brazilians custom to say, you never understand, you never understand.
Yeah.
But I don't know if, I think you guys understood now.
Yeah.
But if you guys don't understood, you guys are trying so hard. And thank you for ESL, thank you for everyone, because it's a dream comes true to have a major in Brazil.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, Striker is the guy that got a lot of got a flack back with the Last Dance article. He doesn't understand. Do you understand now?
Yeah, I mean, I understand the Brazilian fans. Like that's it's been a crazy experience for sure.
To be honest, everyone understood your post, but we have like
emotional response.
Yes,
I know,
yes.
man. I understand that.
response.
sure.
Gary, what about you? What is the experience? Like you are with FURIA, you went through all of these like international tournaments recently. We've been playing in arenas a lot. How different is it here?
Yeah, I was saying, I was talking with Gaules and saying that we were in Antwerp and Stockholm, and we played the quarterfinals in both majors, and this is the first stage. This is already totally different. We saw there like Hornet from Vitality and Beers from
Big,
Big, but they are allowed, but we have like much less people here, and they are louder, and this is insane. This is it's much better than I thought. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
So expectations also surpassed for sure.
Yeah.
What about what does this mean for like Brazil, like for the CS here? Because this is something I talked with Striker about, like in terms of having all of the top teams here, having this visible like in the mainstream as well, maybe getting some like practice with international teams. Do you think this is going to help like develop the scene here?
Yeah, I think when we talk about Brazil, we can like make an analogy with other regions like Asian, Australia, and other regions. And we know it's really difficult to go through this region and go to the main stage and go to breakthrough. And this is not just difficult for us, but for other regions. I saw you guys talking about like how to save an A and like mix it up everything, but it is very difficult for us. So to have the story we have with Fallen Fur and those guys, that what they did for Brazil and what they are doing right now, and when we have a major here, like it's a dream coming true, because back then it's just a dream, and right now it's reality.
It's possible.
You know? It's possible. Everyone is here. We have a Brazilian team in playoffs. We have everyone cheering. We have a lot of people that will start play CS now because of this major in Brazil. So yeah, just to be saying that, I have goosebumps. You know? It's amazing.
Yeah. What do you think, Apoka?
It's a good feeling, because we are very grateful for ESL to get spots for South America, and we are okay. It's good for us. Now we have a major here, so our scene South America is growing up every time. So it's good for new players, and I received a lot of messages this day. So I think it's very good, not only for Brazil, but for Argentina, Chile, Uruguay, South America in special. And I hope we have another tournaments in Brazil next year. Don't need to be major, but
maybe a spring one, like something like that.
Is the weather nice or less rain outside?
Oh, we are unlucky right now.
Very unlucky.
Very unlucky, bro. It's not normal.
Today's a nice day, so
we'll see. It's better. We'll see, it's not nice, but it's better. Here it's every day like 28, 30 degrees, like every day.
I'm watching the team vlogs in my stream, and all teams, Spirit, Outsiders, Navi, they are filming Brazil, and every time it's raining. Brazil is beautiful. I say,
this is the worst day ever. Yeah, I can imagine it being like even nicer usually. So we are expecting like a breakthrough in like a couple of years. The kind of the consequences of this event and what it brings. Definitely the whole storyline of Fallen starting like that was now 6-7 years ago. Kind of getting that first invite to MLG Columbus, and then from that like getting an upset, then getting more invites, getting invited to the major. I think something that is kind of forgotten even nowadays is like the whole crowdfunding that they had to get to even get to the major, because nowadays every you qualify for the major, have everything covered, right? They got invited to Katowice and then need to crowdfund, and then Flusha and those guys were kind of donating as well, made a big, and that like maybe without that donation they can't go. Maybe they don't go. Maybe this major doesn't happen, right? Like it's crazy to think about how like all of these things play together.
It's a really good and important point in the history for Brazil.
Yeah, for sure.
I wanted to ask about something actually, especially if you for FURIA. You guys obviously, because of the legend of Fall and because of the legend of that team, you guys always forgotten, even though you guys were like obviously coming up. You won some tournaments, 3 years ago when you guys first started playing on the international scene. How does it feel now? Because it seems like you get so much support, when you guys play on the stage.
Yeah, we know it's really difficult to like be the following team that it's like loved for the Brazilian, because we are creating a new story, a new path. So it's everything is different. And the feeling that I have right now, it's that Brazilian fans, it's embracing us much more after this major. I don't know if you think the same, Apoka, but
The curious thing, because the fans are Imperial fans for the first time.
Yeah.
And then they are Brazilian fans, of course, they are cheering for FURIA too, but como que fala a faixa ali deles? Tipo,
like the signs, you know?
the sign is Imperial fans, but they are now FURIA fans. So it's
So I think we are like
winning them over maybe a little bit,
we are a little bit more. I think some because of the history and esports is different than the normal esports, right? When you have like PS or I don't know, Arsenal fan and against this is esports is different. You can have everyone here in the same stadium cheering
together
and together. So
they are cheering for Liquid because for Americans spot of legend spot.
And
but
Brazilian
also
history
there. You know, a lot of Brazilian players at least speak Portuguese, you know, obviously. So.
But we're feeling. I'm feeling this right now.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
That's great.
Thanks, guys. Obrigado, guys. Obrigado.
Let's talk about like FURIA actually. Let's talk about that first, and then we're gonna talk about the ESIC thing at last, because that's also kind of a big storyline, and everyone in the arena is kind of embracing it as well. But FURIA is in the playoffs. You went through kind of a couple of crazy comebacks, and then a bunch of stomps as well. So how are you feeling right now about the team?
I think we had a really good preparation after the RMR. It was like 2 weeks bootcamp, but we could talk a lot about the thing. So when we arrived here and we played the first match, we knew because of the first match in the major in Brazil would be like an emotional match, but we start really good. You know, again, the first vertigo against Big was like ours all the time. So and we struggle in T side. That always it's our good side, and this was important for us, the first match against Big, to understand that we need to improve during the tournament, and we did that. We improved during the tournament. Each match we are growing. For example, against OG Overpass, it's not a map like we play a lot in BO1s, and we played and we won in overtime. So I think because we arrived early in the challenger stage, we could like getting back, getting
match
the confidence,
and
going on. So for us was really important. The first time when we lost for EG in the armor was like a shock for us, because we got the legend spots 2 times in a row, and we really like it to have this spot. But for right now, and after we lost, I told the guys that it was really important for us that come first to see the crowd, to feel everything, and get
used
the
to it. What did you think about FURIA? You watch a lot. You know all of the players like intimately. You know all of the what do Brazilians think about FURIA right now? Actually.
Yeah, I think in the last major, FURIA got to playoffs, but we didn't see FURIA like a title contender in the last major. Even us Brazilian. Now we know it's hard. We'll get NAVI in the first match, but we can see that FURIA can make to the finals and get the major, because they are playing well, they are playing good, and all the atmosphere in the arena. I think it helped you guys, right?
For sure.
So
it's insane.
And the map pool for FURIA, I think it's growing up a lot, especially Overpass and Inferno. They are like to play this map now, and I think it's good. So let's see. I hope so.
I feel like some of the interviews, especially like the last 2 games that you played, things that were said after, like by Art, it almost feels like you guys feel like you should win this major. Like it almost feels like, obviously you're not favorites on paper, but you're playing so good, things are going so well that you're like super confident that's gonna go your way.
Yeah, I think confidence is really important for every player in every sport. So we are confident. So this is the first step for us. So we're playing in our country. We have the crowd behind us. We have confidence. We have a good map pool. I was talking with Apoka that I prefer to play Navi. I think it's a really good match for us. It's one of the best things in the whole. So I don't know, like 10 years. So they are really good. They are experienced. So for us to get a title, that's what I want. Everyone want. We need to go through some big names.
Teams,
We want to play against them, and we like to play against teams like that. We are going to do or whatever we can to win that game.
We had Hooch here, and he was talking about kind of like the crowd could be also like a source of pressure. But looking at you guys, it doesn't seem like that is the case whatsoever.
No. For us, no. We are embracing that kind of support that we know that's different for everybody, not just for us, but the other team too. It's different. Like I said before, the other majors, it's nothing like that. Nothing like that.
So you don't prescribe to this whole like Brazilian teams don't do well, don't win titles in Brazil, because of the football and all this. There's no connection.
No connection. Yeah. We are really like in a good vibe to play in front of the crowd. For sure.
What do you expect from the crowd in the playoffs?
I think the crowd loves a lot of players like Zayu, Simple, but first of all, Brazilians, guys. So I think. I'm sorry, Navi. I'm sorry, Simple, but you don't have a chance to have like 5 people cheering for you guys.
Do you think Simple is gonna get booed? He put out that tweet like, I like you guys.
Probably.
You think so?
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
If he's playing against Brazil, he's the enemy number 1, right?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, just in that match.
Just
right?
in that match.
Yeah.
If he goes through, then it's fine. Then it's like let's go Simple.
But we hope it's just last match for them. So it's okay.
Did you have any more questions?
No.
Let's talk about the serious thing. And this is, as I said, this has been a topic of conversation for the last year almost, and there are a couple of developments that happened, but now in the arena we saw the face masks with your face, and like a lot of the players and people tweeting about it. Tell me just tell me from your personal perspective just now, how does it feel like not being able to be behind the team during this super big important moment for them, and it would be a moment for you as well, like to be on the stage of the major in Brazil?
Yeah, personally, it's really a bad feeling because I never experienced something like that. It's the feeling of injustice, and this is what I feel, because I'm not saying that I not got banned because I didn't disconnect it, but I just want them to look closer of my case. Just look my video, look my communication. We have a lot of things to do, to have a subtitle to put for everyone. We put our communication for everyone. Listen in the full. It's really difficult.
You have some videos from like the room that you were in, right? Like during some of these matches, or
no, we have only the game, and I'm out tabbing, and you see the players like studying, and we have all explained in my video, and we help ESIC, right? To showing the video and stuff like that. We went through a lawyer to go to a petition to talk with ESIC, because me and Apoka, we had a lot of deduction about our like penalty or our ban, and Valve didn't consider that.
But this wasn't applied to Valve bans, to major bans.
Right. And ESIC did the whole job, the whole work to like go through everyone, and that's it. It's like it's the feeling of injustice that the first time I had in my life, and this is like the worst feeling I ever had. But right now, the first major was the worst major for me. Because it was the first time I couldn't go to the practice room. I couldn't stay in the same hotel. I didn't, So because it's so much thing that's like I was like a criminal, and I'm doing this for a bunch of years, and I love my players, and we do everything we can to play CS and go through this difficult barrier that go through South America to everyone, and to be punished for something that I didn't do, that I didn't abuse, that I know when I go sleep and my head is clean, and this is the injustice feeling. So this is the worst part. But right now, I'm already know how the feeling is. I'm used of to feel this feeling because I was in Stockholm and Antwerp, and right now here in Brazil, I need to be here for my players. I can't be sad or I can't be something like that, because I need to work, I need to prepare, I need to talk with them, I need to motivate, I need to do a lot of things. So I'm not like focus on me, I'm just I want to someone just look to my case, just that. If you think that I deserve, okay, but just look.
Just for context, until when is your ban now for Valve Major?
I'm clear to 2024, but 2023 2 more majors.
So
two more majors.
You
need
so
to set
Paris
out,
and
right?
the second one of 2020.
If people want to figure out, like, see, there's a lot of posts about this and like the videos and everything, as you thought, like these are some of the first bans that happened, and these were covered like pretty in detail about like what happened, stuff like that. Apoka, when is yours due?
It's permanent.
Yeah,
it's permanent.
Okay. And you had also a situation. It was also like alt-tabbed kind of a situation that's your claim at least, right?
Yeah, I have one round that's not live, and we reconnect and say on the server, camera bug, and this round is about this round, this match.
Countable.
I have 5 more, and it's permanent because this round.
And it was also always just one round? Was that
against NRG.
Yeah.
One it's against NRG. The other match is against Cloud9. The thing is, against Cloud9, it's the really 2018 and 2017 when we play ECS. We need to connect before the match to see the ping in North America, and I connected on the server. By luck, I have vlogs filming me behind my team when the match is going live, and my PC is not close at my team, and the camera is bugged in the same place. The mouse is not moving, and we lost the match. We have a lot of rounds that we can see the guys and our players not see, and we lose the round. So ESIC saw that, and I have a 90%
discount
deduction. And then when we go with the lower, they get sent to Valve that I have to be 1 demerit point and no 6, but Valve didn't see. And it's not only for me and guerri. I think maybe some more coaches are in this injustice, because in my opinion, I'm sorry if anyone agrees, but they first of all they show like 2 codes, I think machine gun and other codes, that moving the mouse and the players getting and say coach bug with 2 Ks, and then 80 more Ks on the same page, and
feels like everyone's on the same level.
Yes, everyone on the same level. They didn't see in the first time. I think we sometimes jokes that Brazilian is 3rd country, but I never see that in my life, because they only put the ban that they started to number of rounds, but
the matrix.
I think if I'm stuck with the match against Cloud9, that we lose 16-13, and I have 29 rounds stuck on the same page with the and I never using. It's different than a guy that used 1 round.
It's different.
It's
totally
in my opinion.
Yeah.
So I think that the failure is that they didn't look every case, but then ESIC looked at every case.
I mean, the new cases like Peacemaker and stuff like this that got to like appeal and then got it deducted or stuff like that. This is the problematic part for me, because if they just said like, okay, these are the numbers, fuck you all, it's not fair. someone's going to get more, someone's going to get less. It's not fair. But it's weird that now for some old cases that are newly discovered, that they give, that kind of attention to detail and say like, oh, actually, you get a statement from a player that nothing happened.
Like in Peacemaker's case.
For example, like why does that count? Like if your players can't give the same statement, or why don't they invite Chad to analyze your demo and see like you couldn't hear this or that, right? For me, it just doesn't make a lot of sense to be so differently approaching two different cases.
I'm not saying that it's the first time, because some of cases the Brazilian guys that I agree, but I think my case it's more easiest to explain than like the Peacemaker round, because they're moving the mouse, so it's hard to explain. But he can explain. He deserves this justice,
for sure,
and he explained it, and it's okay. So it's something like that, man.
And I think that it's a game bug, right? It's not that I'm counts the bug.
It's not like you went into like purposely trying to cheat. Like
and
there is differences because people did it like 7-8 times. Then it's like very likely you did something.
I was more unlucky because the first time that happened to me, after 2 rounds coming back, and it was normal. So when the second time happened and the game already started, I didn't want like to disconnect, to like lose the flow that we are beginning the game. We were like a team that is not like the FURIA right now. We are trying to get the spots, so it was really important each match for us. So when I see the bug in the second time, I was out tab, and I think about myself. Then the last time the bug come back, so if I just
leave it, fix itself.
It's fixed, because I never saw the bug. I never saw this happen before. So
that I think is the kind of like the problem, because a lot of the time we saw the coaches just disconnect after let's say it happened in the pistol round, because they joined the pistol round and they saw it in the pistol round, or it was already live. And at that point, you don't want to stop the game, because obviously, it's just going to disrupt the strategy and everything like that. So at that point, it's like completely understandable that you will wait until the end of the round, then say, okay, I'm in this bug, like I'll disconnect now and fix it, because I don't want to disrupt my team. I don't want to disrupt the round. So I think those cases were definitely way too harsh. Just like you were in the round, doesn't matter what.
We couldn't be in the same package that everyone, because we have some people that really abuse, and this kind of people need to be punished. That's no excuse.
I mean, just to wrap it up, I guess what you both are looking for is not like clean my record. It's just like, can we please look at this, and Valve please take into consideration what has been done by ESIC and what's going on, right?
Yes, that's it. It's just to see, just have a look.
I think for me, but most for Guerri, they are a FURIA coach. I think we have a lot of sponsors. We have a lot of teams. I was coach from Boom, and then MIBR after my ban. So they are looking our case. I think FURIA look at our case. If you abuse, I think you are not be FURIA coach anymore. So I think it's now I'm working on lives, on streams, and I have a lot of Brazilian people. Thank you, obrigado, galera. Going to my stream, if they are thinking they abuse and I'm cheating, I'm not do that. So it's just not too simple, but I think Valve can put someone working Valve to look if you have someone even the game and the guy to get stickers.
Just to explain to like the whole situation, like very briefly, basically you guys got banned from ESIC from ESIC member events for a fairly short time, right? Because of the deduction. It was just I don't know how how long? 4 months. And obviously you're banned from the majors for, what is it now, 2 years?
5
majors. So 2.5 years basically is what it is. But because of the demerit points, your actual tournament ban was very short compared to that for 4 months. And the same thing, I'm not sure what the case was in your specific.
It's worse because I have 90 and then I going back to 2.8 months.
Yeah, there you go.
But
you are permanently banned from majors because once you surpass those 6 points, that means you just...
And I cannot, I'm not coaching anymore, but I cannot participate on the streams broadcast.
Oh yeah, true. So that does affect you even if you don't want to coach anymore, So
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
I don't know. I think that's kind of what we had. I don't know if Chad wants to close the show or something. He's just shrugging over there. I guess we can just close the show. Yeah, do it. Just do it. Just do it.
You can go over. You can stay. You can stay up. It's okay.
I was listening to all of that. Hello, there we go. Gentlemen. Yeah, I think here, just to add my 2 cents, because no one really gives a fuck what I have to say, but I think your request just to have them look, right? Just to spend, the hour it's going to take to take a look at it, that isn't an unreasonable request. And I hope that if we do see, if there are any Valve employees here who work for CSGO during the major, look, we don't know if they turn over, if they don't. We find out when we get in the arena, and if they're here and we're able to facilitate those type of conversations, and maybe they block the conversation, maybe they don't want to have it, but I think it's probably worth a try, right? And I think that one of the keys that we have available to us here is the fact that the players have a lot of power, right? All they have to do, right, if they are here, and I know from my first-hand experience being at majors before as a player, the developers want to talk to the players. So if this is something that throughout that weekend, your boys or even other players who are watching this right now have the opportunity to take cases like this, or even just the conversation of, hey, maybe spend a bit of time looking into this as opposed to just brushing off. I understand if I'm the developer of a game, the last thing I want to do is deal with bullshit, right? But this is people who, as you guys are framing it as an injustice here, and I couldn't imagine the feeling, especially for you, with your boys now in the playoffs. So it's just something where just a little bit of empathy, right? A little bit of looking people in the eyes and understanding that we're human beings, and, that we're all here doing the same thing for the love of the same thing. And that, that's all it's going to take, because I don't think that they're robots. I don't think that they think that you're monsters. I think this is just something which has been handled quite poorly, and we found ourselves in this situation. And I know it's a bit of a somber note that we're on right here, but I want to thank the two of you as members of the Brazilian community for giving us this experience, right? I understand that you guys are hamstrung at the moment due to the issues, but you guys are a part of this amazing 8 days that we've already experienced here, and we're about to have 4 more. And I have no idea what that arena is going to look like. But if it's anything like we've experienced, it is going to be, without a doubt, the greatest CSGO arena event ever. Like that's not even a question, right? Just with the celebration that it's been, right? There's a part of this for you guys that is the love of the game. There's a part of this that is supporting the players. But on top of this, this is our fucking country, and we love this shit. And you can see that, and you can feel that. And I know the people at home, they think this is all bullshit and whatever, but this is emotional. I was in the arena the other day, and I was watching the Vitality versus NAVI game. I mentioned this just before. And there was no Brazilian teams, and the love was still there. And that is what got to me, because if other people love the game as much as I do, that's all I want in this world. It's the thing that we all wake up for. It's the thing that we're here for every single day. So if we can, mend the fences, build back the bridges, and get the world of Counter-Strike back to a place where it's all about love, and then we're in a good spot. But yeah, thank you for you guys and all of your countrymen and everybody who's contributed to Counter-Strike from this part of the world, because I hope that one of these stops next year for ESL, there's 2 of them that are unannounced. If they haven't locked it in yet, they need to strongly consider this pace, because you guys have shown the love, and we should show it back. And we should come here every year and have a party for Counter-Strike in Brazil every year. Like there's
it's
no
a celebration. It's
a
celebration. Yeah. It's not just about Counter-Strike, but it's about life too. It's about having people together doing something that they love. And this is really special for everybody in Brazil. We are a people that it's very, very passionate about something when we love, and we love Counter-Strike. Everyone loves Counter-Strike here. So I'm really happy to be here. I'm happy to have the opportunity, even though I can't be there. I'm really happy to have my players having this experience, because me as a coach, that the most important thing is my players. So I'm just want to thank everybody on the back home in the stream. Thank you for backing up FURIA and the other teams. We are here because we love what we do. We do for sure.
Thank you for coming up.
Thank you
appreciate it.
About your words. Mods aí, traduz aí em português que a gente precisa ver isso aqui na live, tá? Isso aqui foi muito legal aí.
To translate in his live stream. What you
Portuguese
say.
Subtitles, please. Thank you so much for the time, for the space here, and thank you just be grateful for to be here.
Wonderful. All right. Well, we're going to quickly thank our sponsors, Xtrfy, Bitskins, and M1Bet. But we're going to close the show off today. We're going to be back every day just for the viewers. So if you guys want to pop by at another time before we go live, you're more than welcome. And we're talking about love of the game. Harry, the commentator, did a song with MMAK.
Yeah.
And that just came out. And I just asked Lucas if he was able to cue that up for everybody at home. So we're going to play some ads, and then that's going to appear for everybody at home to watch on the stream. So thank you, everybody.
Amazing.
Thanks, guys, for the show, and we're going to be tuning out for now. We'll be back tomorrow.
Leo, galera.
Add some fun to your space with Xtrfy, designed in Sweden with focus on quality products built on experience. You're looking at Project 4, their 4th generation of products with super cool colorways to stand out, with matching sets to satisfy with a solid B4 bungee, lightweight ergonomic M4 mouse, the K4 keyboard is fantastic, all of which are performance focused, and finish it off with colorful GP4 mouse mats that are bold in design and smooth on the surface. The retro theme in particular has got the feels. Complete your setup with Xtrfy. No regrets guaranteed.
Finally, I found what I was looking for. Now that my search is over, it's gonna be a tough choice. But fortunately, no need to choose. When you can just have them all. Buy and sell skins on Bitskins.com.
N1Bet, your bet, your game.